Hello everyone, welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. I'm Rob.
I'm Mel.
And this is our November 2020 monthly channel discussion, Q&A, topic, random stuff. We ask you questions, you ask us questions, all this kind of stuff, kind of a casual thing for the next couple of hours. If you're watching live, thanks for taking the time and tuning in live. We'll ask you for your questions once we're done with our quick little channel update. Which is really just an excuse to buy time while people get the notification and show up with their questions and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get that stuff out of the way here quick. But yeah, first, we want to thank those who support the channel, all the Patreons who support us in the past, those who currently support us, those who subscribe to the channel, those who hit the like button on videos, all that kind of stuff. Those who just watch us and hang out and spend time with us. All of that is so much appreciated. We do have to especially thank our new patrons, Jared, Stoof, and Larry, all for becoming producers of the channel. They're at that producer tier, so you'll see their name in the credits as some of our awesome producers. And then slightly less awesome, I'm just kidding, are also awesome. We have some new supporters. We have Orbit and Elaine are now new supporters to the channel. Thank you so much for helping us grow and investing in the channel. We appreciate it. Helps get more games on the channel, helps me save up for equipment upgrades, and all other things. And eventually, in what I used to spend the money on was going to conventions and tournaments and stuff to get more footage for the channel like that. But COVID-19 lockdowns and stuff and travel restrictions and border closings basically crapped all over that aspect of the channel. So yeah, it will just be invested into the channel, including we have 2 Patreon goals I set up this morning. The next one is for, we want to get 2, we talked about this before, I just keep forgetting to set it up, but and you guys comment about it all the time in our live streams, is when we're playing 3 or 4 player, you guys always make fun of the guest who doesn't have a gaming chair, and it's super obvious because these chairs like stick up behind us, they're big and they're obvious. And thank you for helping us reach the previous goal that helped us unlock these 2 chairs, get them on the channel, invest in them. Money well spent. My butt thanks to you, and yes,
my back.
Yeah, we can play those longer streams, and we're not dying after like we used to, sitting on kitchen chairs. Yeah. But our when we play 4-player or 3-player, our guest doesn't have a nice new comfortable chair. So what we're gonna do with when we reach the next goal is get 2 more gaming chairs. So we'll invest in 2 more gaming chairs so that when our guests come over, they have a nice big gaming chair to sit in. So then they may want to come over more often, and they might not complain about their butt hurting after they play, and we apologize. Sorry, you don't have a good chair. I'm sorry.
Or we watch them walking up the stairs like,
like... We're all getting old, I guess. And then after that, I set another goal that was requested. It's been requested for a while. It's something I've wanted to do on the channel for like 5 years. But then I just like get, kind of worried about just like being vocal on the internet and just saying what I think. But then in my live streams, you guys just get the conversation going, and then I just don't care, and I just like give you what I think. Like I don't, whatever. So I want to make a Rob's Rants series of videos. I don't know the frequency of them. I have a couple in mind what I want to rant about. There's a requested one. My rant I always go into about fear of missing out and some things about Kickstarter. You guys who watch the channel a lot and often know my thoughts on a lot of this. Some of it's evolved over time. Some of it's changed in certain aspects. But I want to make some focused videos that are more like bite-sized, kind of, I'm thinking like, 10 minutes or less. They're a quick watch, because I've been asked to like share that, like make a video so people can share it with other people or rewatch it when they're staring at the 10 Kickstarters online at the same time that they both want, all 10 of those Kickstarters want 300 of your dollars, and you don't know what to do. I can be the guy in the megaphone, the hostage negotiator, calming you down. Like, just relax, breathe, and here's the tactics they're trying to do to make you money jump out of your wallet, that kind of thing. I'm all for Kickstarter growing the industry. I'm all for companies doing it right. But there's certain things that just rub me the wrong way, and backing Kickstarters, lots of them over the years. I have some experience and some knowledge that I give out in live streams all the time, but I need to like kind of focus it and put it in like a video and many other topics. So what I'll do when we reach that goal, I'll start putting together the first video, release it, get some feedback, and we'll evolve that series as we go. But if we don't reach that goal, that's all good. You'll just still hear me ranting like a crazy guy in the middle of rounds or shuffling cards and stuff in live stream playthroughs. So
yeah, this would just make it easier for you to save a video to rewatch later.
Yeah, because there's people who
clipping.
There's people who've like clipped it or bookmarked it, or certain sections in like 9-hour playthroughs where they're like, oh, that one thing you said about this, I saved it so I can rewatch it later, which I do appreciate.
Which is hilarious.
All right, so some of the past content on the channel since the last time we did this video, we'll just highlight quickly. I got back into Gloomhaven Digital, booted it up, tried the new Guildmaster mode, been playing around with that. That's been fun. I plan to do some more of that in the future, and I'm glad to see they've been improving the game. It definitely runs better on the computer. It's not a CPU hog. It's not crashing every 2 seconds. It crashed once, but that was in like 9 or 10 hours of play. Before it was crashing like multiple times a stream. So it is in early access, but they are improving it. It's still not ready with the campaign mode or anything, but this Guildmaster mode, they've been investing in it, improving it, and adding new stuff to the game. And I'm impressed. It definitely is improved. And I took a year off from it. Maybe I expected more to be finished in a year. So they're definitely taking their sweet time. I'm sure they're working on other things at the same time. But yeah, I wish they would hurry up so I could play through Gloomhaven again digitally with some people online before Frosthaven drops, and then I don't care about Gloomhaven anymore. Because that's what I think is going to happen. So they need to hurry up. Also, Pandemic Season 0. We're playing through Pandemic Legacy Season 0 right now. We're in 5 episodes in or something like that. We have a next episode's Tuesday if you want to watch that series. It's in the playlist section. You can follow along with us, join live, help make suggestions on cards we choose, choices made. Just uncover the story with us. But yes, it's full of spoilers. We do that on the channel. We play through campaign games. We play through legacy games. They're full of spoilers. So warning to you. But you can always watch it later. It'll be there in a nice playlist. You can binge it later after you're done playing, or go check out certain months or whatever that you want to watch to see how ours turned out or what choices we made compared to your choices. I always find that fun to do myself.
Yeah.
Fury of Dracula Digital. I took a look at that. That's a pretty good app. It does the board game well, but as you've seen in the playthrough, or you'll see if you check out the playthrough, if you're interested in that game, needs a bit of work. It's pretty good. It's from a developer I've never played any of their stuff before. It's pretty good adaptation of the board game, but there's some weird UI choices and stuff that didn't really rub me the right way. But it's fine. It just needs some improvement. But they've been updating the game often for the few weeks it's been out, so they've been taking feedback, been adding changes and stuff. So hopefully they can evolve that into a nice, solid digital board game, Fury of Dracula. Too Many Bones. We did 2 12-hour streams to celebrate our 10K subs. Which was a blast. It was not technically 2 12-hour streams due to high winds and constant power outages at the end of the second stream. I don't know what we got to, like 11 hours, 10 and a half or something.
Like 10 and a half or 10:45.
Drove me nuts.
Something like that.
Drove me nuts.
Close.
And it was right when we were about to do really spoilery stuff. So it's like, kind of like the gods were looking out, or Chip Theory was hacking our computers or something, or hacking our power grid, trying to stop us from spoiling some stuff for fun, some stuff that, not many people talk about. But it was going to be fun. We'll do it in a future stream. We'll do it around the holidays probably. We'll schedule a set stream to do that content we're going to do at the end and play through that mode. And like, there's people out there who know what it is and understand and saw us at the beginning. We did spoil it in the stream what we're going to do. But
right before our power went
out.
out.
We're right about to set up and get it going and then to finish off the stream, and it was going to be fun. And then, it really bummed me out.
Yeah.
So we'll play that section later, but we do have, if you want looking for Too Many Bones content, this is the channel for you. We've got tons of playthroughs, discussions, all that live. We'll be playing more of it live. I was even asked earlier if I'm going to be playing more of the Tyrants from Splice and Dice. Yes, we will be doing live playthroughs, whether solo or multiplayer, using the Tyrants from Splice and Dice at some point over the next few months. But I'm also trying to focus on other games too, since I just, prepping for that weekend. In that week leading up to that 24 hours of Too Many Bones, like not to include the 22 hours or whatever we played of Too Many Bones, but we taught and prepped Nick and Ashley, refreshed Justin, refreshed Kyle on how to play Too Many Bones. We got together, I set up like basically kits to go to their house with certain gear locks. I put together like video playlists, descriptions, Excel spreadsheets for them to decide what gear locks to play, so I knew how to do research to teach them those gear locks. Like, a lot of work went into prepping for those people to come over for one playthrough.
Yeah.
Like, each person was probably like 5+ hours, maybe 6 or 7+ hours, including
played through too.
Research, playing through with them, answering questions online, talking with them after, getting them ready for the stream. There's a lot of work to just, get, what was it, 8 of us? Is it 8 of us? No, 6 of us. 6 of us involved in that 24-hour stream of playing Too Many Bones. It's not the quickest game to teach somebody. Let me put it that way, and have them ready for playing on a live stream. So it was interesting. It was fun. It was better than doing, I think, the 24-hour stream, in my opinion, setting up for like the way we celebrate, I think, 8K. We did a 24-hour live stream where we just did a bunch of random games, but because of COVID, we couldn't really have anyone join us too much except for Kyle and our daughter Chelsea. But I preferred playing one game and all the different modes it has compared to just trying to play all these different games 24 hours straight.
Yeah, there was lots that we could show off with the game.
Yeah,
which
that
we
game
did with
definitely.
multiplayer, lots of player counts.
Yep, build a tyrant, the nap mode, all
Played
that
through
stuff.
almost every gear lock
Yeah, yeah.
throughout the stream.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
Lots of variety there.
We also played through, I did a Build a Tyrant playthrough on the channel. You can check that out. I'll be doing a solo nap playthrough at some point on the channel too, just to focus on that. I may just cut the one out of the live stream too, the two-player one we did.
Yeah.
I might cut
That's
that
fun.
into like a separate video, so when people are just searching that, they don't have to like try to find it in a 12-hour stream.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Something I should probably do. We played Skytear. We took a look at Skytear. Thanks to the folks over at PvP Geeks for sending us Skytear a while ago. Mel painted it all up. We got to play a 2-player game on the stream. I like that game a lot.
It was
It's fun.
Yeah, it was
a
very fun.
MOBA-inspired game based on like League of Legends meets Magic the Gathering, a little card play, minis on a board. It has a good like 90-minute or less play length. I love that about it. Obviously, when you're not playing on stream, of course. But just playing at the table, it's like quick to set up, figure out your stuff, especially when you're playing with the pre-built decks and whatnot. But I like how you get that MOBA feeling pretty quickly. And Richard Sands, thank you for subscribing. Thank you so
Welcome.
much.
Also in that Skytear stream, we did play 2 back-to-back. So
Yeah, there's
we
2
showed
playthroughs
off
in that
two-
stream.
2 different ways you could play the game.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
It was a full day of Skytear.
Yeah, it was fun.
We're also continuing our Lord of the Rings 3-player Journeys in Middle-earth Shadowed Paths campaign on the channel. It was supposed to be finished by now, but if any of those who watched the last finale, we're gonna do that finale again this week on Thursday. We're coming back for another one. And yeah.
Didn't want it to end. We just
Yeah, we
keep
didn't want to
going.
end, so we're gonna do one more. So it was requested. It was requested in the live chat, so we figured, yeah, let's do it. Kyle's cool with it, so he should be here. If he can't for some reason make it Thursday, we'll just bump it to the next Thursday. So yeah, so we have one more episode in that series before it's complete, and we move on to other things with Kyle. And yeah, you can check out the playlist section for anything else that I didn't mention or any of those games I mentioned. Now let's talk about upcoming games to our collection and possibly to the channel. Oh, I see. Okay. I didn't make that title. I'm just joking. Etherfields. We backed Etherfields. Oh, I guess possibly coming to the channel.
Is like in the future.
Possibly means like
possibly
if we're
means,
still
like-
doing this by the time the Kickstarters are actually delivered. So
Yeah, exactly.
if we're still alive when some of these Kickstarters actually deliver, we'll play them on the channel. Etherfields, we ordered the Root Clockwork expansion, so I can dabble with some solo, or we can play some lower player count games. I think it's expansion. I grabbed that one. I was going to get it eventually later on an order. I decided to throw that one on the order versus the other expansion we don't have, the Underworld expansion. I didn't order that one yet. We don't have the budget for it right now. I'll add it in on a future order. But I thought with the lockdown happening, we're about to hit the holidays where we're going to not see people. I'm going to lock the door. Kyle, Justin, Nick, Ashley, these people who play on the channel with us won't be coming over for a month or so. So there'll be lots of solo gaming, lots of Mel and I playing together. And I figured the Clockwork expansion, maybe we could root on the channel over that time, either solo and or lower player count, or we can use some of the Clockwork AI factions to play larger player count games. That's the plan. We have Arkham Horror. You guys, this is like the most requested game. Most requested game on the channel.
Finally.
Most requested game on the channel
Yeah.
is Arkham Horror, the card game. Yeah, you guys ask for it all the time. And the only reason I didn't dive in, like I said before, we were playing Lord of the Rings LCG at the time when it came out. We were still buying product for that. We were still playing through it. I said, I don't really play Cthulhu games, never really got into the Lovecraft stuff at that point. So it didn't really draw me in. I already had a game that was similar, same DNA, same designers that I was already playing. But then that stopped. And then I thought of getting into it now that we're playing on the channel. It's like a highly ranked solo game. You can play it 2-player. There's campaigns involved. But I know it's an LCG, and I've bought into like a lot of LCGs, competitive and co-op, and they're big, expensive money sinks. They trick you in trickling out expansions at low prices, you think, but then once you have a closet full of cards and you realize how many thousands of dollars you spent to play that game, yeah, they're in the end of things, they cost a lot of money, but they're fun along the way. They're well done. They're fun. I just wish they kind of sold omnibuses later, like comics do. You know, like I wish they kind of, for those who are getting in the game late, I wish you could just buy like, you know, the first cycle all together in a cheaper, less wasted packaging collection box. You know, give it to me, FFG. Come on, you got to do that. So I can just grab a whole collection, save a little bit of money because I'm getting in later. I'm trying to catch up. Then the price, the barrier of entry doesn't look as big. You know, if it's easier to find, cheaper to grab, you know, that's the way they should do. Video games do it the same way. Game of the Year collections. You know, You can, the Uncharted had like, for PlayStation fans would know, when they released like the Uncharted collection, they gave you like Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 or whatever, all in a pack. And you could just catch up if you were just getting into gaming. And, you know, what's Uncharted for? I want to play the other ones too. Well, you can go buy a cheap pack, get them all 3 together and play them all, you know, that kind of stuff. They need to do that. FFG needs to do that. But they're not. So what we're going to do is Arkham Horror. We ordered the core set. We found it for a good Black Friday price, threw it on an order. We're going to try it out. What?
I'm excited.
We're going to try it. We're going to try it. I don't know if we'll go any further than that. We're going to play it on the channel. I'm gonna try it out, see if we like it.
We'll see what happens.
See if you guys like watching us play it. We're kind of late to the party, and I know there's lots of other channels out there that play that game or cover that game and that kind of stuff, so we're late to the party. So if not a lot of people are interested in watching us play those first 3 scenarios or care about it on the channel, that's fine. I'll try it. But if I fall in love with it, we'll buy it, we'll keep playing it, we'll keep going, as long as you guys are watching it and as long as I care to play it. But we're gonna try just the core set. We'll go very basic and try out Arkham Horror LCG, and I'll give you my thoughts, and then we'll see where we go from there.
But like Rob said, it is our most asked for game.
Yeah, you guys ask for it all the time. Every freaking stream.
Yeah.
Arkham Horror, you guys play LCG? I can't find it. I can't find it in your playlist. Where's this Arkham Horror? You play every other thing, Fantasy Flight or LCG. Where's this game? I'm like, oh. And the problem is when I thought about getting into it, Marvel Champions dropped. And then I had a choice. I had a choice. Do I get into Marvel Champions at the ground floor, or do I go track down a bunch of old Arkham Horror stuff? I've been in enough FFG, LCGs, and dived into communities and metas and all that stuff that I know it's like, I think I'll just start fresh in the Marvel Champion stuff and play that. It's a little lighter. My daughter likes the superhero stuff. Kyle likes superheroes. Justin, those guys. I figured the theme would reach out to them more than horror and Cthulhu, Lovecraft, and all that stuff. But we'll try it out.
Yeah.
I'm sure with the campaign stuff, I'll probably fall in love, but we'll see.
Yeah. The chat seems to be excited.
Are they? I know. I need to put it on the screen.
I know.
I accidentally made the thing full screen, so I can't see the chat on the one monitor. One sec. Give me one sec. I just need to. I have it on my laptop, but it's covered right now because I'm reading through a thing. I was going to bring it up in a sec, but I'm taking longer than usual, of course.
I have it on mine.
Where the heck? Oh, here it is. Pop out. So one sec. Let me get it over on this other monitor. Change it to normal. And then this thing, I need to... Okay. And then... Oh, people are watching. Okay, I can see now. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I knew that we were...
I know, I can see it on your screen too, but I can't read it from here.
No.
Okay.
Also,
now I can't see us. Oh,
there is some questions coming in. We will get to your questions. We just have a few more
topics. You'll probably have to re-ask the questions if a flood come in.
But we do have some that actually have at Rob's Gaming Table, so they'll be easy to find. But again, if there is any questions, if you can
use a question mark at least.
And do at Rob's Gaming Table, so it shows for us like a big orange. It'll help Rob find the questions. I'll also monitor it a little bit in the chat as well.
My old eyes can't see the questions.
Well, it's just hard to sometimes go through each line of text, and some things will be...
Was there comments about our background? I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot to start with, we're streaming live from our local board game cafe as a joke. But
Sakabra says, those background mannequins are really lifelike. Nice, huge play space too.
What are you talking about? They're just
we set them up in our
They're
our
not
basement.
mannequins. They're just players who are stuck in analysis paralysis deep in a board game right now, trying to take their turn in Mage Knight. That's all. They're just taking their turn in Mage Knight. They're staring at a handful of cards, and they're like,
they're not sure what to do.
So they may be like that for the next 2 hours. It happens.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about that.
It happens.
Yeah, they're fine back there.
But yeah, I figured instead of moving the green screen, since we're streaming like tomorrow all week and stuff, I have stuff planned. I didn't want to move the green screens and all that stuff and then have to set them back up. So I found the first board game store background I could find, but I was going to do this whole intro joke thing, but then obviously I wasn't ready and forgot.
That's okay. That's okay.
But anyways, we are live on location at our local board game cafe. Yes, COVID lockdowns, but we're here. We're here. We're not wearing masks. We're rule breakers. Those people in the background aren't wearing masks either. Hey, put your mask on. All right. Don't stare at me like that. Get back to your Mage Knight. All right.
Anyway. Listening to what we're talking about.
You need, stock restaurant background noise. That's a good one, Yogi Bear. That's super good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do the whole time. I think it might annoy people hearing the hum and the murmur the whole time, like of a cafe background or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
But I just looked up cafe board game images on Google, and this is one of the first ones that came up that I just slapped in the background. But yeah, it looked funny. Okay, let's see here. Also, we have Aeons and Outcasts. We'll be playing through that on the channel at some point in the near future. We have it still in Shrink. We'll play that. You guys know we'll eventually get to it. And I have some new Marvel Champions. Got some Ant-Man, and I got that Once and Future King. I'm assuming Wasp will probably be out too by the time I actually get that stuff to the table. But I'm going to do another Marvel Champions like solo campaign thing. I'll take a look at Ant-Man and that kind of stuff on the channel eventually. But I also have a Marvel Champions storage solution that I want to kind of look at with that stuff. So I need to organize my Marvel Champions stuff because it's getting big enough now that's like finding cards and deck building. It's becoming annoying. I need to store it. So we'll take a look at something on the channel soon too. Also highlight some upcoming streams. Mel's painting tomorrow. Her monthly painting stream is happening tomorrow evening. Yep. She'll be here painting some Call of Cthulhu. Cthulhu Death May Die.
I'm not sure what yet. I have to take a look at what might be the first few miniatures we see. I don't know. I have to look into. You
could just paint Cthulhu, but it was voted on by our Patreons between that and Nemesis to start painting, and that's going to be the one she starts painting. Yeah. So that'll probably be the first one on the channel before Nemesis do that. But that's the one she'll start painting tomorrow. Yeah. Also, Mel's off work for a few weeks in December, so we're going to do some playthroughs in the day, some 2-player ones coming up soon, where we're going to get some games to the table that maybe haven't been on the channel in a while, some campaign-y type stuff that we're going to play through, kind of like binge some things in a week. We'll do some longer playthroughs. We want to try to get a second playthrough of War of the Ring with some expansion content involved. We'll switch sides, that kind of stuff. But we need to take some time, obviously, to research that, relearn it, learn the expansions, and then play it. So we'll do that during her time off. Hopefully we find some time for that. And yeah, one of the games we're going to try to get back to the channel is Sword and Sorcery. So I've been craving this game since we last played it. That was a campaign series we played through on the channel. It was pre-recorded. We didn't do it live because we figured there'd be longer playthroughs. We could edit out time. That was before I realized it's okay to play long live streams on the internet. I guess video gamers do it all the time. I just didn't know if it'd be good in board games. But now since I have a nicer set of chairs, I can sit longer, as you guys have seen, and I'm not dying. Like sometimes you'd see in playthroughs where I get frustrated and rush at the end because I'm just
hurting.
Yeah, I'm literally I'm just tired and uncomfortable, and I just need to end it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's easier now, I find. So I want to get Sword and Sorcery back, but we're gonna do it live, and we're going into I forget the name of the expansion, but it's the stuff that's in the first half of the game. There's stuff that you can play up to level 4 or something like that. And then there's the second half of the game where you can play through the main story, but there's also an expansion that adds to the second half. We're going to still focus on the first half, but we have expansion content that we're going to go into for Sword and Sorcery. So if you're interested in following along, seeing where we're at, we're going to continue where we left off with our same characters, the weapons and upgrades and powers and abilities and all that they unlocked, and the items we unlocked in the shop. But we are going to continue that. So if you're curious in watching the previous one, it's in the playlist section. You can probably just search Rob's Gaming Table, Sword and Sorcery. You'll find our first series of, I think it's 6 videos in that playthrough series. But they're all edited. There's no live stream interaction or anything like that. So it's just Mel and I playing through it, trying to get the rules right in that pretty rules heavy game. But it was a blast. I love that game. I love that game so much. And I'm excited to get back to it. I have it sitting there. I just want to get back to it. So we'll be playing some Sword and Sorcery soon on one of Mel's breaks. That's the plan.
Yeah.
Okay. So some discussion. I need to bring some stuff on the screen here. Okay, we'll get to the question in just a second, but let me just get the browser up here. I just want to point something out because I know there are some Chip Theory Games fans here, and it is their holiday sale deal. And I always get asked after when I start playing with these components on the channel, I always get questions in the live stream going, "Where'd you get that? Where'd you get that?" And then I have to explain there's only this year-end window where Chip Theory makes their Black Friday holiday special promo packs available for a month, and you have to place your orders then, and then they deliver them a few months later. Which kind of sucks because they show off these Halloween and Christmas themed things and you don't get them till April. And then it's oh, I don't really want to play with Halloween and Christmas stuff until next Halloween and Christmas. So then I'm playing with it then I have to try to explain okay, there's a deal coming up, you have to be online. But I want to point out a few things here that I noticed. in the Chip Theory store. I'm not being paid to promote this or anything. This is kind of a favor and to help kind of head off those questions we'll get later for those who are into Chip Theory games or are new to Chip Theory games. So I know there's a lot of new players to Too Many Bones and Cloudspire and whatnot on the channel. Even some people that back Burn Cycle with our content and had never heard of Chip Theory games before. I was in that boat like a year ago and I knew nothing. And they do things their own little way that only kind of their hardcore audience really knows about. But the casual gamer has no idea about this company even. So I figured I would show here. If we go to holiday exclusives, so you go to chiptheorygames.com/store, and for those who are curious about Too Many Bones promos, they actually have the promo pack. They do a promo pack every year for the last 3 years, it looks like. They have a 2018 promo pack, which includes stuff from Hoplomachus, stuff from Cloudspire, stuff from Too Many Bones. And you've seen some of those on the channel. We've played with some stuff from that promo pack. Also, you've seen Mr. Chicken here, Timothy the Third Esquire, whatever, from Cloudspire, our battle-hardened chicken there. We've played with him on the channel, and this stuff from the 2019 promo pack. You've seen Pickett, you've seen I don't think we've played with the Christmas-themed Nobulus yet,
but we should. Maybe that could be a thing.
Maybe. So that means we got to play Undertow around Christmas. Which I don't know if that's going to fit in the schedule.
Thing.
I know.
We'll see
if we have the time.
We'll see if we can fit that in.
There's other newer games I got to play too.
Let me note that down.
I've definitely played with the Splice and Dice promo from last year. This little critter. He's been in a lot of our videos recently for Too Many Bones because he's in the Splice and Dice set. But the new one has Cloudspire guys, has Too Many Bones content. Basically, Too Many Bones and Cloudspire, the only two games from the company that really a lot of people have. So they obviously decided to not include a Hoplomachus since they're rebooting that series.
Okay.
Start in spring of next year. They're going to have a Kickstarter for it. So it's going to look new and, you know, they're going to streamline it and refine it and that kind of stuff, I think. But they also have these bundles, I noticed. So if you're curious about getting some expansion stuff for Too Many Bones, they have like a Gearlock bundle.
Oh.
They're obviously trying to get rid of overstock,
Sure,
which every company does around the holidays, try to get rid of the stuff nobody's buying. So yeah, they're trying to clear out this stuff. So they have some bundles. The other key thing, though, which is not here anymore, or is it?
I don't think it was in this section.
There is somewhere here. Hold on. I was browsing through here.
Bones, wasn't it?
No, we got to find it. Some of this key. Come on, where are you? There it is.
Oh.
On the left, okay, these sneaky buggers. Okay, they obviously didn't want to say this. And they obviously, I haven't seen them talk about this. I haven't seen anyone mention this to me at all. But Burn Cycle. The Kickstarter's over, and I just figure let's forget about it for now. I want to see it when it comes later in the final version. I've talked about this before. But after doing research, more research into the game, I figured I would back at the $5 level and wait. So that's my recommendation for those who are unsure about Burn Cycle. I said during the Kickstarter, you can get in for $5, but the Kickstarter was and it was like a 9 or 10 day Kickstarter. It's not enough time to like see all the updates, research the game, see it progress, because the game wasn't in a final state, and you want to see it progress. So my recommendation was, and it was like kind of too late because the Kickstarter was too short, is just back for $5, especially if you're interested in getting Too Many Bones stuff or Cloudspire stuff, because they had like a flat rate shipping deal. And that deal, I'm assuming, still applies to the Pledge Manager if you want to add stuff later. In the Pledge Manager, they're going to open it, and it's going to be available for 2 or 3 months or so. They'll still give updates for Burn Cycle, showing the game being more completed. They'll probably release rules, I would assume. You'll also, if you decide to add Cloudspire stuff later, Too Many Bones stuff later in the Pledge Manager, it's usually at a better price, and you get flat rate shipping. And you can get bundles in this Pledge Manager. And this Pledge Manager access, since their Kickstarter is only for 10 days, a lot of people aren't like paying attention to Chip Theory games, you know, once every 2 weeks. You have to check in to see what that company's up to, or check into Kickstarter. A lot of people aren't like that. A lot of people just casually play games and have no idea. So those who see this video, I still have the same recommendation. Burn Cycle could be awesome, but I want to see it further along. I want to see, based on feedback, based on the amount of funding they got, they may make changes to the game. They will make changes to the game. They will improve stuff. They will most likely, based on past performance, will make something great. I hope. I know it'll be good, but I just hope it's great. And if you're unsure and you want to spend $5, you can get access to that Pledge Manager, and it's right here in their store. So even though the Kickstarter is over and there's a fear of missing out, oh my God, back, do $5, what do you got to do? You can still get it right here. It's in their store. I don't know how long it'll be there for, but it looks like it's something you can do. So even if you miss the Kickstarter, you can get some late pledge access to their pledge manager. If you want to put in a big order with flat rate shipping, if you're not in the US or not in Europe, because they already have flat rate shipping for those countries, and other countries like Canada don't have it. Not impressed. But anyways, they do have it in the pledge manager. So if you're interested in getting Cloudspire or Too Many Bones and a bunch of stuff from Chip Theory, get access to the pledge manager, and you're okay at waiting, because obviously you have to wait till the pledge manager closes. They'll add that stuff all together and ship it out in a while. But this still exists, so you haven't missed out. And if you're not sure about Burn Cycle, but you think you want to give them, 2 or 3 months and see what progress they do on the project, you can make your decision at that time. Worst case, you're out $5, or worst case, you throw some expansions in there and dice trays, or desk mats or whatever else they sell, or some premium chips or whatever for your games you already own, and you can get it at a flat rate shipping. So just throwing that out there that exists, something I found that I have not heard mentioned to me, so I'm sure a lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah, we didn't know this was a thing.
But it's in their store. You just have to go to the Chip Theory store. So yeah, there's some fan service for you guys who are fans of Chip Theory games or are interested based on watching our playthroughs. We had a lot of these questions come up during our Too Many Bones stream. All right. I also ordered the promo pack. There is a deal right now. I don't know if it'll show it on here. Yes. So there is this code. If you use code HOLIDAY2020, you can get a free dice tray purchase over $30. You must add the dice tray to your cart, then put in the code. It'll discount the dice tray that's in your cart. I saw a lot of people placing orders, talking about it in our stream, saying, I couldn't get the code to work. I just placed my order. I'm done. The problem was you call their customer service. They'll fix it for you. They're super good with that, or send them an email or whatever. But put in that code. You get a free dice tray on an order of $30 or more. And you just got to make sure the dice tray is in your cart. So we did that. I ordered Cloudspire's Portal Seekers expansion that I didn't have. And I ordered the promo pack. On the shady side, though, I noticed the promo packs are conveniently $14.95. So if you were trying to order 2 promo packs, you still don't hit that $30. Sneaky buggers doing that Amazon, Walmart kind of thing, right? Make it just under the dollar, so you have to hit that minimum shipping amount you have to go over. So you can't just go in and order like 2 promo packs and you're good. I'm pretty sure you have to order like 3 things to get it. And this was out of stock. Yeah, the good dice trays out of stock, unfortunately, in US and Canada. I was kind of sad about that.
Yeah. So, Copper, I think you were able to get this one, though, right? I think it was in stock when you did it.
We just took our time.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they'd ever run out of stock of these things, but that's okay.
I guess when they're giving them away for free all the time.
Yeah, they give them away for free lately with the conventions and stuff. But anyways, enough promoting Chip Theory products here, really. But I'm trying to help you guys out to save some money, hopefully, or not miss out on these chips and promo items that you'll then get mad at me later that I'm playing with them and you didn't know about them. So now I'll be like, I told you in November. I told you in November. Someone asked that. You add the dice tray, it goes over the dollar amount.
Oh, and then it subtract. Oh, because before you do the discount code, it's over the 30.
Gotcha. So you can order 2 promo packs, add a dice tray, and then it works? Okay, good to know.
Good to know. Thanks, Scott.
I didn't need the other promo pack, so I couldn't test that theory, but yeah. Anyways, okay, that's cool. That is cool. All right.
Oh, that was out of stock for Sakabra too.
Oh.
Okay.
And, all right. I have, before we get to questions from you guys, I have been frustrated looking up what space game to add to my collection next. I'm not a huge space game guy. I don't have a lot of experience with space games. I'm a fantasy theme guy. You guys know this. Mm-hmm. I like combat. I like theme-filled games. I like some Euro-y stuff. But I've been recommended over the past, let's say, year, I've been recommended to check out Gaia Project. Okay. I added that to the list. I get recommended to get Zaya, Legends of a Drift System, if I'm saying that right. I've heard it pronounced 86 different ways. Also, I've been told to look at Eclipse, and now Eclipse Second Dawn or something. Okay. I've been told to get Twilight Imperium 3. I've been now told to get Twilight Imperium 4. I've been told, what other space games? There's more.
One more.
No, that's all.
Oh, what's that Star Wars one? Outer Rim?
Outer Rim is not in this group, I would say.
Oh, okay.
But that is one I want to get anyway.
Okay.
Empires of the Void 2, I've heard that compared
Oh, okay.
when I look up these games. So Star Wars Rebellion, we have that game. So it's a space game. I like the Star Wars theme because it's really just fantasy and space. Okay, lightsabers, come on, you're just playing swords and shields and that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's some lasers, there's some guns in Star Wars, but like it's kind of a mix between like fantasy, and space. It's kind of weird. I love Star Wars though, but these big epic space games, I want to get one, but I'm not sure which one. I might do a poll on Patreon to see what our supporters and our producers think, to see their favorites. But I've been watching, been watching videos, been reading, been looking on BGG, trying to figure out which one of these games if I were to buy one. Twilight Imperium is what I thought I would ever get if I was getting a big space game. The only problem is that's best at higher player counts. I can't teach that game to our player group. It is too much. It is too much. It's similar, it seems to me, like a Game of Thrones board game in space, but I already have a Game of Thrones board game, and I already have trouble getting that to the table enough times. But Twilight Imperium, 4th edition, I want it. I just feel like it will never get to the table. There's also, now seeing this Eclipse Second Dawn, in my mind, that looks better to me, something I'd want to play. But I feel like my space game has to have combat. And when I looked at Scythe-esque without any combat or anything. So to me, I don't know, it has to have a little bit of confrontation in it. Or else it's hard to pull some of our gamer group into it to play it at a higher player count. So, I don't know. But Outer Rim, I want to get that one. It's a shorter game. It's an FFG game. It looks fun. It's got the theme on it that you can relate to like Mandalorian and Star Wars movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's easier for me to show some of our gamer group and then go, oh yeah, I know Star Wars. I get what's going on here.
And it's not like 6 hours.
Yes,
right?
And that's the problem
That's
with
the other-
Twilight Imperium. We could be playing that for like a 10-hour
Yeah.
stream trying to get through one, and the players we're playing with will be frustrated that it takes so long, and I'm a little worried about it.
And it's hard to teach them, get them to practice a game, and then to that's a lot of hours invested into one game if they don't like it.
Tiny Epic Galaxies mentioned.
Yeah, the games that are mentioned on here.
Are you putting that in?
Yeah.
Tiny Epic Galaxies. Also,
Dune.
Galaxy Defenders.
Oh, I didn't see that
But
one.
Galaxy Defenders, that's just a sword and sorcery. But like sword and sorcery is a I'm gonna try to say it. A retheming or reskinning of sword and sorcery, I believe, right? I believe that's Galaxy Defenders. But I like, I don't know. But anyways.
Yeah, all the ones that you're noting, like Dune, people are noting that. Have we tried that? Someone noted, Darren said Terraforming Mars. We do have that.
Oh, yeah, I have Terraforming Mars.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. This is the thing, okay. The other thing is I have Forbidden Stars in my collection. I want to get that back to the table soon. I know it's out of print, but that is my space game that doesn't take too long. That has some, taking over planets, upgrading your ships, fighting other races and that kind of stuff. I love that game. That game is great. Forbidden Stars is awesome. So it's hard when I look at like Twilight Imperium. It's like, why do I want a game that's longer and, it's harder to teach and there's too much to it. And I love that idea myself personally. But I need to like duplicate myself. I can't. Like I need to clone myself so I can get like a 6-player game of Twilight Imperium going on stream. Because I don't have the players in my group that will play that long, I don't think. Which has stopped me from getting in the past. It was some game I wanted to get when I got into the hobby. I was like, oh man, this looks epic. I want to learn this game and play this game. And it's like, oh, I won't be able to play with anybody, so it'll be sitting on my shelf forever. But we have Forbidden Stars. And then for the space-themed Euro-y kind of game is Terraforming Mars. I have it. It plays solo. I can play multiplayer. We're messing around with resources, trying to build engines. That game's not as long, not as hard to teach. That game fits more for my group. It doesn't look pretty on the table, as some of these big monstrous games like Gaia Project and Eclipse do. But I want to get one of those big games, but it has to be something that like I can teach my group, or we can play at a lower player count and it's still good. Which, based on my research so far, it seems like Eclipse Second Dawn, when I can get a hold of a copy, seems like something that would fit our group that I can play with Mel, teach Mel, we can learn it, and then maybe teach a third player and then go that far with it. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of, I'll play any game, but I'm never going to be like, let's play a space-themed game. I'm never going to pick it as an option.
Oh, we'll also put down Dune. That's when I
did,
saw.
and
Okay.
I did 2 asterisks because a lot of people are saying it, and they're saying it's going to be up your alley. And also, we did play Star Wars Rebellion.
Yeah, we have Star Wars Rebellion.
played that.
And love it. It's like War of the Ring, but in space.
Yeah.
I'm all for that game. I love it.
Sorry, I didn't finish my thought there, but
Zaya, yeah, Zaya was.
Zaya we have.
Yeah, no, we don't have Zaya
Or
Legends
we
of
have
Drift
it on the
System,
list.
but that's in our consideration already.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is we watched a bunch of videos on a lot of these different games, and Eclipse Second Dawn was the one that I kind of was like, okay, that looks pretty cool out of all of them.
Yeah.
So
we're going to keep researching. We appreciate the, basically what I wanted from you guys was any other recommendations or to see what the chat's saying. I'll go back later and look through the chat to see how many times something's recommended. But Mel's adding these games to the list so I can research them. I'm literally going to create a spreadsheet of all these space games. Then like player count, best with count. Does it have a solo mode? What's the cost? Is it available? Is it Kickstarter? Is it at stores? Is it old? Is it out of print? I need to figure all these things out and then just pick one. Because I'm investing the Patreon funds in it. I don't want to just buy like 5 different space games and then find out they're all similar and I only needed one, or I don't like 4 of them and only one of them I liked. And I don't want to go through all that time and process. So I will definitely pull from the hive mind, learn from people's mistakes, see what other people recommend. I'm going to then research and then pick one and order it.
yeah,
but
we
like,
want to get one that you guys want to watch us play as well.
But I don't play enough space games to be able to look at half these games and understand by just like, oh, it has this, this, and this. I understand. Some of the mechanics I know from other games, but it's like I don't play enough of them to know like what is good and fun in those games. Like I don't know. So something I want to dive into and learn more about. But Mel's not into that type of game, so that stopped me from buying space themed games over the years because I'm like, if nobody's interested in this theme, I can't pull them in. And that's the key to pulling in people to the board game hobby. Find a theme they like. That includes your kids, your grandparents, your friends, your people at the game store. Find out a theme they like or another game they like. Take that theme, find on Board Game Geek something highly rated that is in that theme, something you know you'll like, and that's how you pull those suckers in and you get them into the hobby, and that's what I like to do.
Yeah, I'll play anything, but it's not one that I'm going to pick as like, let's play this game.
Sirhan mentioned it too, Battlestar Galactica. Oh, yeah, he knows we have that game. Thank you again for sending that to us. We do have a copy of that. We will learn that after the COVID lockdowns, hopefully in January or February.
Yes.
That is the goal with that game. I
hear good things about that game.
Oh man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to play that with a bunch of people at the table. We have the group that loves that whole backstabbing and lying and like turning on people and hating each other after the game, like no feelings lost, you know, that kind of stuff. Oh man, I can't wait.
So Sirhan also says they need to make a post-apocalyptic game for me, and then a space post-apocalyptic.
A space post-apocalyptic game.
Yeah, that would be up my alley for sure.
Aren't all space games post-apocalyptic? Because basically like the world gets destroyed and that's the reason we're all in space, right?
I don't know.
We've destroyed our planet with pollution and stuff. We have to leave.
Some survival aspects and.
You know what I think you might like, based on some research. I know it's not the greatest game, but Mel liked the Crossroads stuff from Dead of Winter. Is that Gen 7? It's basically a story like you're basically born on the ship that's left Earth, and you're trying to get to this new planet, but it takes multiple generations to get there.
Oh, cool.
So like you're on the ship. I think this is the story of it. But it has the whole crossword card system. Things will happen. Somebody could be betraying you. You're trying to do your jobs on the spaceship and live in this society. And you're going to die before you reach that end too. So it's just your life of being born, working, and dying, and going through this story on a ship.
So it's not actually surviving. It's just getting from one spot to one spot.
I've never played. Oh, okay. Somebody told me it was great at a Keyforge tournament one time. They told me, Rob, based on the games you play, I think you'd love this game. Yeah, but then I just saw the game didn't really catch on, and a lot of people weren't really fans of it. And I was just like, It doesn't seem to be a great game. It seems to be an okay game. So, but that might be something that you'd like. I don't know.
Maybe. Dan is suggesting Gaia Project so we can teach him.
John B was the first one recommended Gaia for solo play, and I think about getting that. But then if I'm only playing it solo, I kind of like maybe I can find a space game like that I could also play multiplayer with people too. And I know I can play a game multiplayer with people, but because it doesn't have the whole combat, that for me. Not having combat in it is hard for some of my play group. Like just managing resources on a little board.
It's not as exciting.
I can get them to do that in Scythe and they love it. And they don't realize they're like really playing just a little Euro game, managing resources and building engines. Because there's some combat threat to it. You can steal your opponent's resources. You can just fight mech on mech combat, kill their little units, send them back home. That's why Scythe is so amazing. I need like a space version of Scythe. That's what I need. Something on that weight level or lower that has some combat to it, but also has all the upgrading stuff. And I feel that's what Forbidden Stars had for me. But I just haven't got it out in so long. And Velco just dropped a super chat there. Thank you so much. Says, let me help you get them games.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
What was Velco's
Yeah, Velco, what's your recommendation for space
here?
game?
I don't remember seeing you put in a...
Yeah. Where's the recommendation?
Putting in a suggestion here. Oh, Tiny Epic Galaxies is good.
Okay.
But honestly, knowing you, Rob, you might consider it too small and too simple.
No, but I would try it. And that's one of the ones they always say. If you're going to play a Tiny Epic game, start with Galaxies or Defenders, I think. But yeah, maybe Tiny Epic Galaxies. Maybe that's one I try.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Then if I don't play it because I don't like it, it doesn't take up much room on the shelf, right?
Outer Rim. Okay.
Oh, I'm getting Outer Rim.
We're getting Outer Rim.
Outer Rim I'm getting for sure.
Yeah, I'm interested in that too. That looks fun.
Yeah, Outer Rim I'm getting for sure. And that maybe makes me not want to get the other games. Like I'm getting Outer Rim, I think, within the next month on the next board game order. But yeah, I think I'll play that before I get another one. But yeah. Rob is looking to go to space but wants to fight people.
Yeah.
Kind of. Because, like, yeah, like Star Trek theme or Star Wars theme is in space, and you're managing resources in some of those games, but you're also can fight and stuff. So, or at least some competitive aspect to it, where you're like, there's some tension. There has to be some tension between players is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe not go in and just like destroy them in your fight and rolling dice or anything like that, but like, kind of like even on the lighter end, like worker placement kind of tension where you can steal resources that the other players want.
Yeah.
Which I see that in Eclipse. I see you can steal upgrades and stuff that are like only certain ones are available in the game. If one person takes it, it's gone for other players. I think that is amazing. I love that stuff. So yeah, that could be super fun, I think.
Oh, and Outer Rim expansions are coming out next year. So that might be okay.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Mel. Wow. Star Trek Frontiers, the Mage Knight reskin, says George. I'm not really a Star Trek fan, but I mean, if it's good, I know it's just a reskin and stuff. I don't even know if that's like readily available, is it? I just feel like I never see that one anywhere, like in stock or anything. I've never seen it show up anywhere. I'm sure it's out there. It's just not a game I hear talked about very often. I feel like since it's older, maybe it's not like in print right now, but it probably is. I don't know. Anyways, that was my question for you. I just want to do that little bit of discussion. It was something bugging me lately. I figured in front of our Q&A audience, I want to get the vibe, see what people are thinking for space games.
Well, this is the audience of people that are going to watch us play it.
And
so
I might still get a lot of these games. I just want to pick some to start with. So Outer Rim, I'm definitely going to start with that one. Then I think I'm going to try to track down, right now, this may change, I think I'll try to track down Eclipse Second Dawn, if it's possible. If that's still hard to get or I can't get a hold of it, I might just, for solo play, do John's recommendation. Some others' recommendation to me is Gaia Project. I might just get that and play it solo. It's just $100 game here, and it's like, I'm only playing it by myself. I guess you could say that about a lot of games I buy. They're pretty pricey, but I still... Like Cloudspire, for example, I've played that way more solo than I spent time playing it multiplayer. But the fact that it still has that option is great, which I know Gaia Project does.
Which we could play together, and I will play it with you.
Yeah, I could play it with you, but I'm just worried some of our other group, I just feel like that game will be like, they won't be interested in it just based on the look, the mechanics,
And some of these bigger,
I could be wrong.
Some of these bigger space games, when we were looking on BGG, they're better at 4 or 6 players, right? So we can play 2 players, yes, but I don't know it's going to be portraying the same game as if you played it with 4 or 6.
As well as Dune.
Yeah, Dune, we'll have to look into Dune because a lot of...
Yeah, are you talking about the Dune that just came out from, it's the same company that did, what's the motorcycle show? Sons of Anarchy?
Oh, yeah.
It's that company, I think, that did it. Gale Force 9?
Oh, okay.
Is that the one you guys are talking about? Dune by Gale Force 9, the recent one? Or is there another Dune game? Dune Imperium. Can you put down Dune Imperium, Copper's saying? Because I know there's older Dune games, and then I know Rex was a reskin, a retheme, a reimagining of Dune by FFG, but I don't think you can really get that game anymore. But now there's one by Gale Force 9, I think. Yeah, I'll look into that. Okay. There's 2. Oh, man.
And John B is saying, Rob, you're not going to be playing by yourself. You're going to be playing with the chat.
This is true, John. This is true. I know. It's just like I look and invest, and I like when the games have features that, like, you know, like if I'm just playing it as a solo game, I have to understand I'm spending the $100. I'm playing it only solo, which is fine. But it's like,
We're playing only solo. Like I will play. I said I will play.
I know
with
you'll
you.
play with me.
But again, we might not be showing off the best version.
Yeah,
of the game
and sometimes
at
it's
2
like, man, I want to play that at a big player count, but it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this game won't rub right with the other players, so I will never get that higher player count. So I'll just
Yeah.
pass on that game. So I try to find the right games for our group and the channel at the same time.
Yeah.
But if I have to just go one way, I'll go one way. And yes, I may by next year at this time, I may have played like 6 or 7 of these games and may have owned them all by then. But I just don't know where to start. That's where I was looking. I want to see what people are talking about. Captain is Dead. That's another one I've heard of. That is pretty fun.
Do you need me to note that?
Yeah, you can put that one there. First Martians, XCOM.
I already put XCOM.
But XCOM is
no, I
like
didn't.
real time.
I
XCOM
didn't.
is app driven. It was one of the first app driven games before Mansion Madness came out. But it's real time, and I hear that rubs people the wrong way, and I don't really want to play that on the channel.
I didn't put that, but now
Okay.
I just forget what you said.
ISS Vanguard.
Captain what? What was the game called?
The Captain is Dead,
Oh.
or something like that.
Okay, sorry.
I don't think that's on the heavy level of games. I think it's more of a fun one. But
But they all don't have to be huge.
Jim's
big
saying
games.
Star Trek is the best sci-fi background.
Okay.
The only Star Trek I've ever followed or watched in my life was Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I used to watch that in like middle school because it was on at a good time when I was like home. They were playing like reruns of it or something. And yeah, I love that show. That was fun. But yeah, I've never watched like Next Generation or the original Star Trek stuff. I just couldn't get into it. But somehow Deep Space Nine, for some reason, that just drew me in. I don't know why. But then I stopped after that. Was it done? I have Terraforming Mars. I already have Terraforming Mars.
Yep.
I will be playing that solo on the channel soon, actually. I will be playing that solo on the channel soon. We did play that before on the channel 2-player. We have a stream of that up, but I want to play some solo of that. So you'll see that soon on the channel. And then I'll probably grab the digital app after I play it, and then we'll play some of that too.
That's awesome, though. You guys gave us some great
Yes,
information.
thank you.
And
All right.
great places to start, and we really appreciate it.
All right, so now it's done with the intro stuff. 1 hour in, we're done with that.
Well, that was part
I know,
of
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So let's get the chat up here so I can see it closer, live chat, and then
funny.
I can also...
So if you have any questions and you want to drop them in the chat, again, do that at Rob's Gaming Table. It'll pop it up.
Yeah.
Make
So
sure you
let's,
say question or use a question mark, and it'll pop it easy for us to answer.
Yep, let's answer some questions. Right. Let's see, I gotta go over here.
So if you already asked a question and you might want to just bring it back so we don't have to go through an hour of the chat to try to find them if there's something that we didn't yet answer.
Oh, Sakabra, thanks for the tip. Dune Imperium's only like a $50 pre-order.
Okay, I'll just note that beside.
Yeah.
Because I already wrote.
Because that's the problem with some of those pre-orders. They sell out. I've noticed locally, Sakabra, if like, I'm kind of like, I'll wait on it, I'll research later. Then I actually do research it and I go to pre-order and it's like, oh, pre-orders are sold out.
Missed it.
So yeah, I'll look into that one sooner than the others, but that might be a good one. Thank you for the tip.
Okay.
Let's see. So Sirhan's asking, afternoon for both. What is your favorite gaming mechanic? Also, Rob, favorite of these two, ripping up cards in Pandemic or landing on treasure chests during Gloomhaven?
Oh, that's awesome. That's an awesome question.
Love it. All right, Mel, you go first. What's your favorite gaming mechanic? And Mel might not know all the mechanics. I try to tell them to her when,
Yeah, I don't
when we're
know.
looking up games, and Mel's like, what's this game about? And I try to explain. It has like hand management, area
Yeah.
control, combat, resource management, hand management, deck building, all these things like worker placement. There's like this whole list of things. But you could probably think of your favorite game. There's just like dice rolling, bag building.
Well, okay, so yeah, you're right. I don't know exactly what all of the terms are called, but I love games like this War of Mine where it's a survival aspect and you come in with nothing and you just have to survive. Like, I don't know what what would you call that? Like
You like character progression?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely like character
leveling
progression.
up and unlocking abilities
Yeah.
and building up, getting stronger throughout a play.
Yeah.
I think that's called character progression.
And like just surviving the harshness. And I also love hidden mechanics.
Like
So,
unknown information?
Unknown information in games. Yes, I love that.
Trying to solve things and find stuff out?
Progressing through a story, and as you're doing that, you're revealing new things. And maybe, like in Mansions of Madness, we don't know what our goal is. And as we're
You don't even know what the next room is.
Yeah, and as we're progressing through, we're learning more about the story. I love games like that. But again, I will play any game. I love just playing games. It doesn't matter. I love rolling lots of dice. I love building decks of building hands and deck building, all that stuff. I like all of it.
Yeah, favorite mechanic, I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I don't have one favorite. I find like a specific mechanic has to be blended with other mechanics to make it better. I can't just play a game that's like only deck building. I love the deck building mechanic, but I can't play a game like Dominion that is literally just deck building. I will fall asleep.
You want something else on top of that.
I need it to have a smorgasbord buffet of mechanics that mesh together well. That's what I need. I don't want to play just a game that's literally a choose your own adventure book. I need to have a game attached to that with other mechanics involved also. So that's why a game like Tainted Grail, it's really just a choose your own adventure, but it also has a board that reveals itself. It has survival aspects. It has combat. You know, all this stuff. So it's like hard for me to just say like one mechanic because it's not just that mechanic that draws me to some of my favorite games. So
you're right.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
I can't just say one, but I do love deck building. I love worker placement. Those I found I like that a lot in games, but it's like the other stuff wrapped around it has to be there. It's I don't know. It's not just because of that mechanic that pulls me to a game. And then my favorite of ripping up cards in Pandemic or landing on treasure in Gloomhaven.
Is that a hard choice?
It's landing on treasure in Gloomhaven. It's trying to solve the puzzle of can we win the scenario and get the treasure and what the hell is a treasure?
And how can he get to the treasure before anyone else?
And also make sure I have enough health before I flip to the back of the book and find out the treasure is actually going to hurt me and it's not a treasure and the table's going to laugh at me and all that stuff. I love that whole aspect of Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
A little hidden information. I wish it wasn't all on one page in the back of the book, but I never remember what I see in the back anyway. So
yeah. Yeah, we have short-term memories.
Yes. We have another question here. Velko's asking, would you consider start Rob's Rants series on the channel?
Oh,
yes.
We should probably mention this again.
Yeah, we talked about it at the start of the stream, but one of our new Patreon goals that I added, you guys have been asking for this for a while. I've been talking about it for like 5, 6, 7 years on the channel. I wanted to do this, but we added it as a Patreon goal. So when we reach that goal on Patreon, which isn't too far away actually, we will unlock that and I'll be forced in my mind to do it and we'll just do it.
Yeah.
And I'll start with a series of those videos.
Yeah.
But yes, I have some ideas. I talked about it earlier. Yeah, so you'll see that
you
eventually.
guys have been asking for it, so we have added it. Yes.
Robert's asking, awesome name by the way. Hey guys, sorry if it has been asked, but I'm late to the stream. Did you get the Kumon Bloodborne board game? I passed on it on the Kickstarter, but I see it is up for pre-order at our local retailers, and I do want to grab the core set. I will grab the retail core set only. I don't need all the fluff. I don't need all the Kickstarter exclusives. I don't need any expansions. I want to play just the retail game because I only have so much time to play so many games in a year. I will probably only give it that much time. So I will grab the retail copy when I can get a copy and we'll play that on the channel because I love the Bloodborne IP. I love the Dark Souls IP. I want to see Kumon's take on how maybe the Dark Souls board game should have been done. But we'll see. And then I can compare them and have some fun. But I assume I'll like the game.
We have the card game, right?
We have the card game,
and I like that.
But this is a whole different game, right?
Yeah,
so,
but the theme
it's
of,
dudes
like,
on a map
yeah.
and combat and all
We
that.
like
We
that.
like Dark Souls too,
Yeah.
so it should be
Yeah.
good. But yes, I will get that on the channel eventually from retail. Jeremy Howard's here. Hey, how's it going? And he's asking, did you play Burn Cycle at all, and how did you like it? We did not play it at all.
No, we did
We
not.
didn't get a prototype. I'm in Canada, to be honest, behind the scenes kind of stuff. Chip Theory sent us a prototype earlier this year, and because of COVID delays, Canada borders, U.S. Postal Service problems, I didn't get this prototype till long after the Kickstarter was done.
And it wasn't Burn Cycle, it was a different.
Yeah, it was before Burn Cycle.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why we didn't do the whole prototype thing, but I'm okay with that. I wasn't really feeling Burn Cycle 100% up front. I wanted to see something a little more complete. I have faith in Chip Theory, but I'm going to wait till it's retail ready, till it's a final product, and then I'll grab a copy. We'll play it on the channel. That's my plan. So no, I have not played it, and it looks okay.
Yeah.
It looks okay, but it just wasn't wowing me at this point. But I have faith they'll make a great game. Or they'll make a good game. I don't know if they'll make Burn Cycle great. I hope they will. But you'll see it on the channel eventually. I'll definitely give it a shot for sure. I love what Chip Theory's done with Cloudspire. One of my favorite games. Too Many Bones, one of my favorite games. I've spent hundreds of hours in both those worlds. Love them.
Yep.
So hopefully Burn Cycle can pull me in. I know it's not as complex, but hopefully I can still have fun with other players at the table with it, which will hopefully be great. And solo. Let's see. Dan asks, have you or will you get into Brass Birmingham? I want that game. I won it earlier this year. I was interested in it. I just don't know if other players will play it. And I talked about this on the channel before. I was asked this in a previous Q&A, I think. But the theme just looks really dry.
What's the theme?
It's like late 1800s or early 1900s.
Okay.
Technology, steam, trains, like trying to build up. It's all resource management and stuff. It looks nice. It's a game I want to play. I personally want to try it because it's always talked about so well. But it's mainly played multiplayer. I feel like there's like a solo variant or something. Industrial Revolution in London, UK. That's the way I should have described it. And Kanji says, I'll play Brass if it ever goes digital.
Okay. Well,
That seems like it could be a good digital game, actually. Sakabra has it. I know Sakabra has it. Says it's great.
Okay, we can look into it for sure.
But yeah, like I know Mel will play with me if I teach her.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I can convince some of our other players who like more theme style games to like, play that kind of theme and get into it. I don't know. That's it. Oh, Dan, I know I'll like it. He says, just learned it. It's great. I think you'd like it. I'll probably love it. But
BGG says it's best at 3 to 4.
I know
so
that's
again,
the
we can play it at 2, but it's best at 3 to 4.
That's the problem. That's why I look at it. And the weight is a
3.92.
Yeah, 3.92 out of 5. So it's like, oh man, Cutthroat, that's not a problem for us.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Not a problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm interested in. It's been on my wish list. I've looked at it and it's like, there's other games that I'm like, I know I could get our other players to play with us on stream, and that one I'm not sure. It would might be a little dry of a stream. I don't know. Let's see. Scott, no worries. Got to run. Have fun all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Scott. No problem.
Brian asks, do you give games as gifts? And if so, what kind of games do you give? And I'm not asking this so Mel knows what she's getting for Christmas.
Okay, well, little behind the scenes is Rob orders his own board games that he wants for Christmas.
No,
and
never.
I will wrap them and put them under the tree for him.
I do pick games too for our daughter.
Yeah.
Like I've done in the past. I bought games for our daughter that I think she would like, but I put them on an order with mine, get free shipping, and then Mel wraps them all and puts them, labeled.
But I'll wrap them with her, and she doesn't know he already picked them out. She just thinks that we ordered them. So, and then he'll open them on Christmas.
Yeah.
So, yes, we do that.
Yes, we do.
And we will buy games for friends or friends' kids, like nieces and nephews. We're buying one for our nieces here. And
a lot of things I do as gifts, like spending time with what I do with a lot of our family and friends over the holidays. I'll bring certain games that I think they would be interested in that maybe we didn't buy them because I'm unsure. I don't want to buy someone a game that'll just go on a shelf they'll never play, especially casual gamers. So what I do, I bring certain games that are better versions of games they play and show them to them. So then maybe they'll buy them themselves, or if I see their eyes light up and they still don't have it, maybe we buy them for it late. We buy them that gift later. So that's kind of what I do for that.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure I buy something that like gets to the table and they love it and they play it and maybe pulls them into the hobby. I don't want something that looks overwhelming and they may not play. So it's like I have to do my research sometimes in the casual game space to figure that out.
Yeah.
Or buy some of those games myself, which I never care to play, but just to show them and teach them and get them into the hobby. Yogi Bear's asking, is Mel going to play Etherfields with you on stream?
Yes.
Yeah, Mel's one of the reasons why we're getting that game, because she was like eyes lit up and she wants it.
That looks like something that will be very interesting to me.
So I can't play without Mel.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this means, but Sakabra just says Spirit Island?
Yes. The answer is yes.
Absolutely yes. For sure. I'm sure there's more to that there. So we answered Jeremy's thing about playing Etherfields on the channel. Yeah, we just backed it. We just backed it in the Pledge Manager that reopened. We didn't back it the first time around and I wanted to wait to see how that game turned out. I like Awaken Realm stuff, but I don't necessarily have too much faith in them in the original Kickstarter phase. It seems like a lot of, you're backing this because we've thrown in 4,000 miniatures, tons of pre-order bonuses, aka Kickstarter exclusives. None of that stuff phases me. I don't have the fear of missing out stuff. I know the reality is I'll get that game later. I'll never get into that expansion stuff because there's too many games to play. Just give me a good solid core set, and I know I could back that in the Kickstarter, but shipping to Canada is ridiculous in most Kickstarters, and also we get it later than other countries on Kickstarters usually. So that's also frustrating. In the past, I usually can go to our local game store and buy a retail release of a Kickstarter before other Canadians have even received their Kickstarter stuff.
Yeah.
So certain games when I'm like, I'm not sure if it's going to be great, I don't know if I want to spend my money on it right here, I can always just wait till retail. And that's what I supposed to do with Etherfields. In my mind, I want to see the first wave come out. Worst case, they'll do a second Kickstarter after a game drops, similar to Seventh Continent or Gloomhaven, these games that nobody really understood what was behind them. And then when they dropped, they were super popular, feedback was great, reviews were great, and then they did a second Kickstarter right away to strike when the iron's hot. I figured Etherfields would do the same thing, and sure enough, they did. People are getting the game, people are reviewing the game. It looks right up our alley. They delivered on a pretty good product, and then they opened their pledge manager again to let other people get in on it again. So we got in at that point.
Yeah.
So it will be coming later, I assume. I don't know when it's going to arrive.
Yeah,
but
I've heard different dates on that, but very excited to play that when it comes. Yes.
Oh, Brian de Sacabra says, Dan, Rob taught me how to play Spirit Island. Good video.
Oh.
One video. I have tons of those videos. We'll be playing more of that in the future for sure. For sure. Because that new expansion, I got to try to get a hold of that. I went to go order it yesterday, the day before, and it was sold out at a local retailer. So I got to wait till they come back in stock, and I'll get it.
Friday. We tried to order on Friday.
Yeah, on Friday.
Yeah.
Try to get it with some Black Friday discounts and missed out.
Yeah.
I snoozed and I losed. John B saying, playing Etherfields now. Mel would love it. By This War of Mine author.
I cannot wait. I'm so excited. And as you guys talk about how great it is, and I'm more excited to play it. Yeah. Can't wait.
See. Orbit's asking, question at Rob's Gaming Table. Will you continue with Lord of the Rings, Journey to Middle Earth, Haunting of Dale after Shadow Paths? What has been your favorite hero you've played so far? Yes, we will be playing after Shadow Paths, but we will be taking a break over the holidays because of COVID lockdowns. We don't want to spread during the holiday season. That's when all colds and flus get spread like crazy from everyone shopping and visiting family and friends over the holidays. We're trying to avoid all that because there's also a little thing called COVID-19 that's also in that mix. So we don't want to add to the problem. So we're going to kind of lock down ourselves and not really have people over or go out of the house till like mid-January. After hopefully it's cycled through some people's systems and maybe not as contagious.
A couple weeks for people to...
So after that break, we talked to Kyle about it. He'd prefer to start it after the fact rather than play a couple episodes before, then take a month break. So we're going to start that in January. So watch for that.
Yeah, and probably more mid-January than early January.
And my favorite hero is Legolas that I've played. But I still want to play Gandalf. I still want to try some of the dwarves.
Would be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to play Gandalf, I think, in the next one.
I heard the dwarves are kind of fun, too. I really like
we can do that. We can do the other group.
Yeah, I like my character.
Yeah, I tried it. This time I tried that we all played characters we never played on stream before. That was the plan. So I think we'll keep that rolling.
And play a new character in the next one.
Yeah, in the next series.
Just to have more variety, for sure.
Adam's got to go. No worries, Adam.
Bye,
Enjoy
Adam.
the rest of your day. Let's see. Darren says, question, if you like worker placement like Lords of Waterdeep, you might like Abomination. It is fun and would work for Halloween next year and other times.
I heard of...
We were at the Gen Con when Abomination launched. I was going to grab it because it was new hotness. It sold out, of course, before I grabbed it or even got to look at it. And I heard pretty good buzz after the fact. That was a Plaid Hat Games game, which I don't know if Plaid Hat now owns that game or if it was left with Asmodee when Plaid Hat separated. But it does look interesting. So yeah, I'll definitely look into that one. Mel's put it on the list.
Yep, I added.
I'm not really a fan of Lords of Waterdeep. That game was too boring and too dry for me, but for some reason, basically the same game, Champions of Midgard, the theme on top of that, the expansions for that, just made me love that game. But I played Lords of Waterdeep first, and couldn't even focus. I was falling asleep. It was the most boring thing ever. And I know it has kind of a Dungeons and Dragons theme to it, which I don't really know Dungeons and Dragons that well, but it like the theme wasn't really attached. It was like I'm moving around purple and cubes and like it was, I don't know, man. They couldn't even use meeples. But anyways, it just, something about it was so dry and boring. I couldn't get pulled in. I need theme on my games. At least at that time I did. And I just was like, man, this is trash. Why do people love this game so much? And then I was like, oh, Champions of Midgard. I played that and was like, this is amazing. And then I realized, wait, this is the same game. It just has the theme attached to it and some different things to it. But yeah, Champions of Midgard, one of my favorite games, but Lords of Waterdeep, man, one of the worst gaming experiences I've ever had. Yeah, it's weird. Very weird. I don't know. But yeah, we'll look into Abomination. That's a good one.
Yep.
I didn't realize that was worker placement, though. That's cool. Oh, multi-use cards, Yogi Bear just mentioned. That's a mechanic I love. You guys hear me mention that. I love multi-use cards when I can use cards as resources or multiple abilities. There's different times in the game they do different things.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it when cards aren't dead in my hand and I have multiple choices for each card what to do with them. I love decision-making in games.
You know what would have been a funny twist on that question is to name a mechanic you don't like. Because I feel like we play so many games and we like so many variety of mechanics. But is there anything that you don't like? You're probably not listening, but...
No, I'm not at all. I thought you were talking to them.
Okay. Both, but that's fine.
Okay. Now you finished the Journeys Miller Shadow Pass campaign. We're not totally finished. We have one more episode.
Yeah, one more.
Maybe two. We'll see. No, probably just one. Will Mel still paint the character change back? Yes. Yes.
I will.
Notice you bought it. Yeah, because we need it for Haunting of Dale. There's a couple characters in there that will make an appearance in the Haunting of Dale.
Yes.
Based on the rule book says so, or the rule pamphlet. So yes, we will. And yes, we didn't do it as a stocking stuffer because I thought if we added it in our playthrough, I thought maybe some of the items and stuff would get integrated in mid playthrough. Maybe we would see it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to test that theory out, but we didn't get to see anything because we already were upgraded too far, I guess.
Yeah.
But we'll have it at the start of the next playthrough, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
Which is nice. Tigger Meaty's here, one of our supporters. Thank you so much. He's got a question, or she. Question, would you consider a video series like One Stop Co-op Shop's Shelf Life, where Mike discusses the games he sold off in the last month? Shelf Life. I think I've seen one of those. I'm not 100% sure. But I get what you're saying. So basically, any games that leave my collection, I make a video and discuss. Not many games leave my collection.
No.
Because I usually do, like, we haven't run out of space. That's one.
Yeah.
I'm still filling shelves. Two, I usually do heavy research up front that I buy a game that I want to play multiple times and hopefully has some legs. But I know One Stop Co-op Shop, since they have more subscribers, more followers, they probably make more money than I do. They definitely get sent more review copies and that kind of stuff from companies. I don't get much of that. So they're probably getting lots of free games coming in, and they have nowhere to store them all. So
and maybe games they didn't ask for or do research on, and they're just companies are just sending.
So the different thing is, when I even get a game sent from a company, I've discussed with that company, I've researched the game, and I make sure I want it. So I've either asked for it or they've reached out and offered it. And for me to say yes, I would have looked at the game like I was buying it. So that's a different thing I do on my channel is I look at games whether I would spend my money on them, because I don't want to play a game on the channel that I wouldn't spend my own money on, because I don't want people to think that like, oh, Rob's showing this so he recommends this and he would buy this. You know, I want other people buying a game just because it shows up on my channel, like a commercial.
Yeah.
I want to play games to show them off that I think I would invest in. So even games that I got given to me for free as review copies, they're not just given to me to make a quick video to try to get hits and subscribers and then throw away. So making a shelf life video, I don't really have any content for that. So it'd be like a video of me just sitting there going, nothing this month, guys. Back to you. And we'd be done. So
not in that format, we wouldn't be able to do that.
I could do something where it's like, what games do we get? But that's what we talk about during this segment, during the Q&A, or you just see them played on the channel. If I get a game from a company that I don't like, or I buy a game that I don't think is good for the channel, after I play it and test it and learn it and whatever, I just won't bring it to the channel. You just won't see it. So may have mentioned games in the past that I got, and you're like, oh, we never saw that game. It's because I played it with other players, or I learned it and played it solo, or figured it out and was like, nah, not worth it. I don't even want to show this game off on the channel, and that's happened before. So that's just, I only have so much time to play so many games. So that's, I just have to filter it somehow. I have to have some kind of rules to it. But I know One Stop Co-op Shop, they have multiple people that work on the channel too. We just got me here and players that play with me. But I know Mike, there's the one guy I really like at One Stop Co-op Shop, Colin. Colin is awesome. But again, these guys, they get so many games, they have so many people that can rip through games that they have extras to play and throw away. So
Well, just to reinforce, Jeremy is exactly the same. I don't cover games I think are trash.
And
There
that's
you
all.
go.
Jeremy, you're awesome.
That's awesome.
I know
And
your
that's why
stuff's
people
awesome.
respect what you say about games.
I use Jeremy's videos to research half the games I'm interested in. So I appreciate, Jeremy, the work you do, of course.
Yeah.
You know that. So Jeremy's great, puts up great content. Has been doing stuff on his own even before Man vs. Meeple stuff that I was watching. Jambalaya Games, right? That's the channel, I think. So I've been following for a while. But I appreciate, Jeremy, all the work you do. Okay, more questions. Gotta find more questions.
Oh, there's more questions. I see them rolling in.
It's a very good system. Is there a site in Canada?
Oh, I think that goes with the other.
So maybe some people can answer this in the chat too that are Canadians and know. I know there. So Sakabra's asking, is there a site in Canada that does buy and sell? I know of Kijiji. All the U.S. sites are unusable due to shipping costs.
Yeah.
And I agree. This is the other thing. Here in Canada, it's hard to do the whole like buying and selling games. So in the past, Sakabra, yes, Kijiji is how we found Sword and Sorcery. eBay, sometimes you can find, if you search by only Canada, sometimes you can find like people like you and me who are just selling games on eBay. But the shipping's still kind of bad sometimes. But there is a Facebook Canadian buy and sell board game group that I've looked in before, and there are people who are just offloading tons of games and collections.
Yeah, we've bought multiple games off of
There
people
is
from Facebook.
there is Canadian focused ones. Oh yeah, Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace is just like Kijiji. You'll find local people selling stuff in Canada. It might be a little different than the US Facebook stuff. But yeah, Sakabra, that's another one. Check Facebook Marketplace. You can give your location and then pick a certain amount of kilometers away, just like Kijiji, and then you can even find people who are more local that you can drive to.
Yeah.
And like we've driven to people's places and like literally walked in houses and they have piles of board games and they're like, here's all that I'm selling. What do you want? And we haggle and try to add stuff to the collection that way.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you can do. Mel's asking, have you any interest in Dungeon Crusade? Will be available at retail soon. I've never heard of Dungeon Crusade. I'm assuming it's another dungeon fantasy themed Kickstarter that there's like 12 of those a day that pop up on Kickstarter. But we will look into it.
Yep.
We will look into it. Mel's added it to the list. But thank you for the tip.
Thank you, yes.
If there's Kickstarters that are hitting retail soon, I am not against looking back into them and seeing how they've panned out. And then by then, hopefully I can find reviews and stuff on people who got the Kickstarters. And then I can kind of know more about the game and see what's actually came out in the other end, and I can look through rule books and stuff. Because sometimes looking through a rule book for a game, you can tell if they put together a good game or spent the proper time on it and spent people's money well or not too. That's the other thing. And a lot of companies won't put rule books up front, which is kind of annoying. So I have to wait on them. But yeah. Let's see. Get out of here, Scabra. Got to keep chat moving. No, it's all good. Larry's asking, will you be playing Dwellings of Eldervale? I don't have that game. I wanted that game. I saw it at Gen Con. Looked amazing. But that's a game I want to... I know people have started receiving that on Kickstarter. But that game looks freaking beautiful. And that has a lot of stuff in it that I would love. And I think I could convince other players in our group to play at a higher player count. So yes, I definitely am interested in that game.
Noted.
Will I be playing it? Depends if I can find a copy at normal price, because I'm not paying stupid eBay secondary market prices and stuff for that. But I'm assuming that game will be readily available at retail, because that company, I forget who it is, the publisher, they're usually pretty good for having like retail level stuff. I know it might not have all the funny fancy bits, but I'm okay with that.
And Mel's got to get going. See you later.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, Reese is asking. This is a good question. Yes. Reese asking, have you had a chance to look at a Company Heroes board game, and would you guys play games that are that huge and would take a while to possibly play? Reese, we did look into it. I was shocked that you recommended this one for the channel, Reese, to be honest. It's a war game.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a miniatures war game. I know it's a board game, but it's basically like a miniatures war game, kind of like playing like Warhammer 40K, that kind of game, it seems. Mm-hmm. It's similar to like FFG's tried to do that in the past, or other companies. What's that one? Tides of Iron. I was interested in getting Tides of Iron years ago because I was trying to I want to get into like that kind of heavier wargaming stuff. I like the military theme. That kind of stuff interests me a lot. I love watching historical World War II kind of stuff. That stuff's always fascinating me. I don't know why. But I have Memoir 44 because that game is like entry-level army game kind of thing, and I could convince players in our group to play that, teach them, and we could do it in an evening, no problem. But bigger war games, like Mel does not care about building tanks and sending her infantry out into the field and positioning and cover and measuring tapes and stuff like that. I tried to use X-Wing as a way to get that going in our living room, but it didn't really catch on because that you can use templates and dice rolling, and that game is more of like an entry level to that world. But when I saw Company of Heroes, it looks awesome to me. I want it just based on what it looks like on the table, but it is a war game, and I just don't see Mel being interested in it and wanting to learn it, and other players that we play with taking the time to really get into a game like that. That takes a lot of hours. It's like kind of like a lifestyle game, and I just don't see it fitting on the channel, to be honest. But it does look amazing. It looks amazing. Company of Heroes looks awesome, but yeah, it's not a board game. It's a war game. It's like a miniatures war game, basically. It's like part of that group.
I also think we played the Star Wars game a long time ago, and maybe
What Star Wars game?
Or the X-Wing. Sorry, X-Wing.
Yeah, that was different time.
It was a long time ago, so
Yep.
maybe looking back at some of
the
these
game that's
games
more
now.
the game that's more similar to that now is that Star Wars Legion.
Oh yeah, which we saw at
yeah,
Gen
but
Con.
we're not miniature gamers like that.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
that kind of game. Like it's
Yeah.
It's big, takes up huge table space. It's like you got to know rules for all your different units, and it's
Yeah.
just a long play. Like, but it's fun. I like that those exist. I love going to Gen Con and going to that section and seeing all the people playing war games on these huge tables.
Oh, yeah, with
it
all
looks
their,
so amazing. I love it, but it's a hobby within the hobby, and that's why I stepped back from that stuff. But
Yeah.
Tides of Iron looks similar to Company of Heroes, and I was debating Tides of Iron because it looked more board game focused, like slimmed down, not as deep, but in reality it really is. So yeah, if we were to get into a war game like that, the closest one we got to, we were almost getting into, was the Song of Ice and Fire
Oh yeah.
from Come On. We looked at that at Gen Con, but then when Mel realized what it was, and it was like basically like that same whole miniature wargaming thing, we just walked away. We're like, no. We love Game of Thrones theme, but like even that wasn't enough to pull us into like miniature wargaming, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So
Maybe one day, but
I don't know,
right now
man.
there's lots of fun stuff to play out there.
Yeah.
We have lots of other options.
I prefer to play card games in that format. Like it still takes as much effort and all that kind of stuff, but it's like they're quicker, it's less components and that kind of stuff. It's easier to get into.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my thought on that one. But thanks again, Reese. Bring up other games that I don't know about. I'll look into them. That's awesome suggestion. Thank you so much. Jana says, what is your opinion of Ultra Quest? Will you pick up this one if and when it goes to retail? Yeah, that's the thing. I reached out to Blacklist Games because I missed out on the Kickstarter of this. I said, I'm interested in playing Ultra Quest and or Street Masters. I want to try out these games. Do you have review copies available? They told me, no, we don't have anything available right now. And then I found out, like from reading Kickstarter updates and stuff, they're having problems with distributors. They had to switch companies. They have missing product. They're trying to run 2 Kickstarters at the same time to make up money from lost product and companies that have screwed them over and all this stuff. They're in a huge mess. That company is all over the place. They don't have their stuff together. But Ultra Quest looked awesome, and I wanted that one more than Street Masters. I went out, I used your guys' funds from Patreon. Thank you for the support. I bought Street Masters. We played some of that. Mel's painted it all. I want to get it back to the channel. Ultra Quest, though, I still want it. I still want to try it. It seems like a more updated version of Hero Quest. I don't know why anyone would go get Hero Quest unless you're attached to Nostalgia, that remake. I would definitely recommend Ultra Quest over that because you can tell it's definitely heavily inspired by that. But I didn't get a hold of it. I don't know if they'll have review copies later, but they told me they'd keep me in touch, you know, maybe reach out later, so I don't know. But if it's at retail, I will just grab it by then. But if it's only in their web store, maybe I'll grab it. We'll see what they have available and shipping to Canada and stuff. But it is a game I want to at some point play on the channel. But again, there is so many freaking fantasy-themed dungeon crawling games and also adventure games coming out every day on Kickstarter, new ones. One's delivering, one's hitting retail. Like we got Descent coming, Frosthaven coming, Oathsworn coming, so many other games. I have other ones I've ordered I'm not going to talk about that we'll play on the channel eventually. I have Sword and Sorcery stuff I want to still play. So many damn dungeon crawlers that it's like if Ultra Quest, if a year passes and I still don't have Ultra Quest, I just may forget about it and not care. Unless it's like people are telling me it's the best thing since sliced bread. It's one of the top dungeon crawlers ever. It offers something new that no other dungeon crawler has. I'll maybe go back and grab it. But if it fell in my lap today or I could find it at a decent price, yes, I would grab it and play it on the channel. But after I've played Oathsworn, Frosthaven, all these other games, I don't know if I'll go back. We'll see. John's got to go. Thank you
Bye,
so much,
John.
John, for
Thank
spending
you.
time with us. We'll see you later. Okay. That's my thought on Altered Quest.
So after that list of games, it's like we like dungeon crawlers or something.
Yeah, fantasy dungeon crawlers? What makes you think I'd be interested in that, Janet? So weird. So weird.
That's funny.
Like, why? Brian asks, as a solo game, would you consider a Euro like A Feast for Odin? Brian, if Feast for Odin wasn't $100 or more, I would have already owned it. I was staring at it on Friday, on Black Friday. I was going to add it to an order, but it's so expensive. And just to play it as a solo game, again, the same thing with the space stuff I talked about earlier. I don't know if I could do that, but I think I could get other players to play that game, maybe, but it might be too heavy. I have people playing worker placement games. They love them, but I don't know if Feast for Odin is too big. I would love to have that game in my collection. It's like kind of like a, I don't know, what do you call it? Like a Holy Grail or something game that I would love to have in my collection, love to learn and love to play. Kind of like Mage Knight was until I played it. These games are huge. They are a big undertaking. The community loves them. They're the highest complexity levels. Like, it's a game I want to get to in worker placement. It's like the bar that I want to reach at some point. I don't know if I'll like that bar once I reach it, but yeah, we'll see. Maybe I can grab a used copy at some point and do that, but
Yeah.
it's just an expensive game. And if I'm only going to play through it a couple times solo, it's like, is that worth it? I don't know.
It says best with 3 on board game geek.
But it has a
and-
great solo mode supposedly too.
Okay, and 3.84 weight.
Yeah,
So,
which
yeah, it is a
of
heavy
worker
game.
placement
Best with
games,
3
it's
again.
a monster. It's a monster, but it
Yeah.
looks awesome. It looks awesome. But I would consider it. It may hit the collection at some point in the future. It's still in my wish list with all our board game stores online. I have it in my wish list, and it may get added to an order at some point in the future. We'll see. As the channel keeps growing, I'll get more of these games on a whim, but I still have to be careful. Every month have a budget and be very careful not to go into debt and all that kind of stuff. And spend my money wisely based on what at the time people might like to watch, what I'm interested in playing, and what is different and new compared to other games in my collection. So this is kind of what I look at. So yes, Feast for Odin would be a monster, and I'd like to play it. I don't know if it'd be the most interesting stream, but it is a game I want. Like, personally, I want Feast for Odin so bad. It looks awesome. But yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Just reading the comments too. I've been reading the comments live as you guys
Yeah,
say them, but I'm
same.
seeing these comments again for the second time, and like, you guys are awesome. We want names. Name these games, says Time Slayer. We want names. I will not name names.
Well, they have a couple questions asking
Oh,
in different ways.
so some of the games that I've bought in the collection, I'm trying to do this. Like, I don't mind saying like certain games we bought, because like obviously I want to show you guys we're not just like taking Patreon money and going on trips. Like, it's definitely not happening.
No.
I'm going on trips into board game land. That's where I'm going. But yeah, I like to show that, hey, we're spending money, we're buying games, we're adding stuff to the collection, especially stuff you guys want to see. But some games I don't want to talk about because they may take a while for Mel to paint, or they might take a while for me to learn, or to fit in the schedule. So some games I don't want to mention that we bought, and it's games you guys have asked for, and it's games I probably said no to being on the channel, but there's a couple games I've switched my attitude on after doing more research. But I'm going to leave them for now till we actually get them. They may take weeks to arrive because of the busyness at the holiday shipping and stuff, but when they arrive, I will learn them and eventually get them on the channel. So I don't want to hype them up now, and it might not play them for like 3 or 4 months. So I'm just going to leave them off of the list for now. But yeah, I'll hype it up as we're about to stream it. I'll leave it at that. Let's see. And sorry if I skip any questions. I'm trying to look for the question marks and stuff. Velko's asking, what is your worst board game disappointment you can think of? Worst disappointment. I don't know. Maybe there's a
Are
few
you afraid
things.
to say?
No,
Oh, okay.
I just, there's a few. I don't know what. That's like trying to create ranked lists off the top of your head is a hard thing, because like you got to put together all the games or all the situations or all the answers. Then if you got to pick just one, and then you're worried you're forgetting certain ones that may be in that consideration. But Velko loves drama, says George.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. You can ask the stuff.
You know he's very honest, and he will say.
Things that have burned me, that have upset me in the past, you guys may know or may not know if you watch certain series, but Dark Souls, the board game Kickstarter, and Steamforged Games, biggest disappointment. I was backing Kickstarters. They're one of the companies that made me look at Kickstarter the way I do and be very careful with my money, because man, they handled that project very poorly. They were not nice to their fans. They ignored their fans. It seemed like it was a big cash grab. They promised a lot of things. It took years and years and years to deliver stuff. They delivered the core set. It was okay, but it was missing everything I backed the project for. And years later, finally delivered, and they still don't care. They don't seem to be in with the community. They seem to be stuck in the loop of trying to just make money off the next Kickstarter. They're very much like, kind of like, come on, where you can tell they're just keeping their company afloat by just launching Kickstarter every month, launching a new Kickstarter. Do we care about the last one? Do we want to support it? No, we're on to the next one. We only really care about our fans who are currently backing us in an ongoing Kickstarter. Once the Kickstarter closes, they disappear. They're working on the next one to grab your money. And companies like that really rub me the wrong way. I like companies that support systems. I hate this idea of like designing a game, designing all these expansions at the same time and just dumping it and moving on. I hate that. That bugs me. I like getting into games where like FFG even has stopped kind of like just pumping out the expansions up front. Make a game, if it sells well, work on an expansion, come out with it later, keep in touch with your fans, see what they want, change and evolve the system, come back with new stuff. But this whole idea of just like, all right, here's the next Zombicide, dump, forget, move on. Like, we need the next money to keep us afloat. It's all about getting the interest-free loans on Kickstarter over and over every month on a timed basis. That's what Steamforged Games seems to me, is that they bit off more than they can chew, and they were all just about, we just need the money from the next Kickstarter. And then once you back the next Kickstarter, they don't care about you anymore. They're on to the next one. They just need the money coming in to keep funding all their projects, and their mismanaged, poorly project managed projects. And that's just the thing I got from that. So I spent hundreds on that. And even when they reopened Pledge Managers, I still went in after playing the base game and thought, it's okay. I want to buy more to add to my game. So I backed more in the Pledge Manager, and it still took forever to get this stuff. And I see how they treated the fans who got broken miniatures and stuff. There's still people who are missing pledges from like 3 years ago that they're getting ignored online. They're getting blocked. They're getting deleted. They're deleting Kickstarter comments. Like all that stuff, get the hell out of here. Like that company burned so many people that I will never promote any of their stuff going forward. So, maybe they've turned it around now, but yeah, that was a huge disappointment. I still love the game. I still play the game. I use the house rules that the community came up with, because there's a lot of players like me that love Dark Souls and love the components and know there's a good game that could have been there if they had competent people designing that game. But literally, they just pumped that game out and just got their money and just put together like what they could, and it feels like they didn't play test it really and didn't care about listening to the community and just made that game. So like the shady peddlers, those guys, is what the impression I got. And I met them and talked to them at Gen Con. And the guys who designed the game, the guys who promoted the game, the guys who work in customer service, I talked to them up front, and you could tell they're just like, yeah, they were just trying to make a buck and move on to the next thing. And that's the vibe I got. So that was a huge disappointment. I didn't like that company for that. So I wish someone else had the Dark Souls license. That's what I wish had happened there. Even like Come On would have done a better job with it, I think. But yeah, that's me. That's one big disappointment I had, and that was a disappointment in the Kickstarter process. That was a disappointment in Steamforged Games. They took a license I loved, and they could have done so much better with it. But the community around that game, you guys are freaking awesome. There's people designing apps to make campaigns and stuff. There's people that make house rule stuff that helped us on the channel play through that game and have some fun with it. So the game's not trash. The game is okay. But the community has made that game awesome, and I appreciate that. So that was my disappointment, was when we got that game, what came in the core box, and then waiting years for the expansion content to make the game the full game I backed. The reason I backed the game, I didn't have that complete game for like 3 or 4 years later. It was ridiculous. Crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. And it wasn't even as good as they were saying it would be. It was very poorly put together mechanics. I don't know. Anyways, that's my disappointment. There's Rob's rant for you for let's see. Ree says, will you guys ever do a back in time game day? We used to do that on Thursdays. We used to do that on Thursdays when we tried to play just casual Thursday game night we had for a while, where we would put up a poll on Patreon of all these older games in our collection that haven't been pulled out in a while or we haven't played ever, just to get them on the table and let you guys vote. And then we play these older games that maybe are out of print or people have never heard of. We've done that before. they got okay views. People kind of liked it, but then we realized like people would have watched us kind of play anything on those Thursday streams. They just kind of wanted to interact and have some fun, which was awesome. So it didn't even matter what game was on the table. But yeah, playing older, not hot games, sometimes like it's just like, is it worth the time to go learn that game when nobody can even buy that game now or care about that game? But we still will play older games.
Yeah.
We still do. Yeah, we play War of the Ring. How old is War of the Ring? That's been in my collection for like 6, 7 years, 8 years, and we played on the channel just this year.
Yeah.
So yes, we will do
Yes.
Yeah, that I would consider a back in the game or back in time game day.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see. Brian's saying, check out Castle ITTRER. Can you put that one down on the list? A solo war game with a very cool World War II event. Yeah, I'm interested. I'll look it up. And then Tigger Media is saying, have you considered solo-only war games such as those from DVG? This is what we were talking about the other day. Dan Verson Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we were talking is like similar to GMT, right? Thunderbolt Apache Leader, Field Commander, Napoleon Warfight. I don't know. Those games don't look like they appeal to me. Like they're like paper, little cardboard chits. They're like, moving around units, like rule books that are just like walls of text. I don't know if that's for me. I understand they're awesome. Oh, Castle Eider is also from DVG.
Oh, okay.
I'll look into it still. I could be wrong, but I always just, when I think of those type of games, I just think of the ones from like GMT, and I think like Avalon Hill, I think has some older games like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but those kind of like, they're heavier war games. They don't look nice on the table, to be honest. They're not flashy. I need like the toys included. I know I'm a man child. It's got to, I'm not like an old war general type player. I need to have miniatures and, pretty custom dice and a beautiful art on the board kind of thing. And those games, like Memoir 44 looks good. It is pretty simple, but it looks good. Velco's got to go. No worries. Have a good Sunday.
Paul. Paul's also.
No worries, Paul. See you later. Thank you so much. But yeah, so we'll look into that Castle Eider or whatever.
Yep, I've noted that one as well. Yeah. Thank you.
I guarantee Mel, you'll see. It'll probably be like the cardboard chits on stuff. But if I'm playing solo, I don't care. I don't need to wow any other players either, so it's fine.
That's true.
But yeah, just like production value I need there too sometimes. Oh, I see. Han says, did you check out Fire Team Zero? It's an older game. I don't think so.
No?
I don't know what that is.
What did I do here?
I don't know what that is. Oh, we'll add it to the list though.
Fire Team Zero.
Brian says a comment here that I agree with somewhat, and I wish for my personal, I'm like Brian, Hero Quest, the remake of Hero Quest, I wish it was a version 2 that, yes, had some way where you don't need a game master. But I understand for nostalgia's sake, there's people who want to buy that game to play with their kids, relive the 80s. So it is cool they're like remaking it without the Warhammer miniatures and all that stuff, and Warhammer art, or whatever Games Workshop license on it. But yeah, I wish you could play it without a GM. That's the way I want to play my dungeon crawlers. So that made me not care about Hero Quest remake at all. But yeah, if they did add an app though, it wouldn't truly be the Hero Quest reprint everyone was looking for. So you'd please half the people, but wouldn't please the others. So, but yeah, but that's what I think. Descent. It's not Journeys in the Dark. Legends of the Dark. What's the third one? Whatever the new Descent is coming out next year. That is the Hero Quest with an app, but even more, I think. That's what I think you want, Brian, is look out for the new Descent.
Legends of the Dark, yeah.
Legends of the Dark. That's the one I think that makes me not care about Hero Quest, and maybe doesn't even make me care about Alter Quest and all these games. Like, hopefully FFG does it right. I have faith in them. But that next Descent is going to make a lot of dungeon crawlers probably not be interesting to me. I love the idea of that app and the hidden dungeons, hidden objectives.
Yes.
You don't even know what monsters are coming. You have no idea. You are in a dungeon. It is all hidden information. I love that idea.
As I said, that's one of my favorite mechanics.
I love it from Lord of the Rings. I love it.
it.
I love it from Mansion of the Madness. So I know with what they've learned from that and what they'll put in Descent, mixed with how Descent's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. They're doing a new game from the ground up with the Descent name, really. So I'm excited for that. So yeah. Talk about nostalgia, Descent. But yeah. They're just using the Descent name. Supposedly it's its own new game. They went from the ground up. They were allowed to start fresh. But it is people who worked on Descent. So they've learned from their mistakes with Descent. They've learned from their mistakes. It's people who worked on Mansion of Madness, people who worked on Journeys of Middle-earth. So they're putting together, they were allowed to start with like a fresh slate. So, and they've been working on it for years. I can't wait to see what they put together. So I'm excited. I can't wait for gameplay. I'm pre-ordering that game.
Yeah.
I want that on the channel super bad. I'm definitely more interested in that than Ultra Quest, than Hero Quest, than some other dungeon crawlers that I can't remember right now. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Same.
Boom. Jim says, Rob, do you like castle defense games? Oh, I missed Ryan's question. I'll answer that in a sec. Yeah, I like Castle Panic. And I was interested in the Cool Mini or Not one. But then again, it was like, it came out on Kickstarter after I just backed another Kickstarter and had other Kickstarters waiting. And I said, no, I can't back another Command project. But they do have a castle defense type game. Also, Ghost Stories. And then the re-theme of Ghost Stories that came out recently, I forget the name of it, is very interesting to me because it's super difficult. But yes, Jim, those games interesting me. I like tower defense stuff in Cloudspire. It's similar kind of idea of like defending waves and waves of stuff. I still have to play that Cloudspire Endless mode. But yeah, I do like that whole defense stuff. So yeah, Besieged. Besieged is the game. Thank you, Hans. I couldn't remember the name of it. It's got a very generic name, so it doesn't stick with me. Last Bastion is the re-theme of Ghost Stories that I was interested in. I saw that at Gen Con last year. And Village Attacks, I have that on my wish list with a local retailer, but I don't know when that'll come in. But that Village Attacks looks super interesting to me also. But I don't know if I'll be able to get a copy of that. That's the problem, because it's like a Kickstarter thing. I don't know if it's going to be hitting retail readily available or not, or if I missed it. I don't know. And Ryan's asking, did you ever pick up any of the expansions for Wingspan? Yeah, we played with the Europe one. We have it. I don't think I played it on the channel though yet. And the Oceania one or whatever, I added to a list, but it's still pre-order in Canada. So I'll grab it when it's like at the local retailers. I'll just throw it on an order. But yeah, I'll get that. I'll get that for sure. And we'll play through that on the channel in the future for sure. Yes. Yes. Axis is asking, yo, Rob, will you bring this war of mine to the table soon?
Yes.
Mel wants to. Mel's off work, like I said, in December. She has a couple weeks off. We may get that to the table one of those days.
Yep.
Because she likes playing that on her holidays, and we'll bring out one of those scenarios. And we know they don't take too long. We'll get that back to the table, yes.
Yes.
Soon, hopefully, before the end of the year, is the plan. But we'll see.
There's a lot to do before the end of the year.
Yeah, I know. We may run out of time.
Yeah, but we'll do our best.
I should play that solo, though. I need to play that solo. I need to actually, like, yeah. Because then I can play through some of the other scenarios and get through more of it. Because it's a long game, right? You can only play it on weekends or if you take holidays. Yeah. So it's like not a hard game to get to the table. But I know those scenarios, some of them are shorter, so maybe we could do it in a weeknight, but I don't want to risk that. This Christmas of Mine 2020 edition. It is the perfectly positive holiday cheer, kind of positive spirit game to play.
Around the holidays.
Yeah, around the holidays to make everyone think of, happiness and, all those great things in the world. Yeah. It's definitely that kind of game. So, yeah, it's perfect to play at that time of year.
Definitely.
Let's see. And then Times Player says, yeah, play more scenarios of this War of Mine and with the expansions. Yeah, we will, for sure. Oh, Vert209's just subscribed. Thank you so much for subscribing.
So much.
Awesome. Welcome. Pull up a chair. Stupid scrolly thing. Let's see here. So Hexy, I guess, tune in late. We are live on location at our local board game cafe, which will remain nameless since I don't know which Google image I stole to put in the background here. But they're not mannequins, actually. They are real people. They're actually all in the middle of choosing their next cards for a Mage Knight turn. So they are still stuck in that same turn 2 hours ago when we started the stream. They are just making their choice. So maybe by the end of the stream, you might see them move when they've actually made their choice in Mage Knight of what cards they'll play in what order, and what they'll keep in hand and what they'll use and whatnot. So yeah, you're just seeing players in the background. They're trying Mage Knight for the first time, so they're kind of stuck in some analysis paralysis. So that's why you haven't really seen them move. But yeah, hopefully they'd move by the end of the stream. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh, Jim, I saw that. Where's it? Whoops. Ah! Clicking. All right. Jim saying, Rob's Gaming Table, check out the King's Armory. Yeah, sorry, I saw your question before, and I don't know how I missed it. Or maybe it was a statement. But you asked if I checked out the King's Armory. Castle Defense, and it is older, very fun. And it would be good on video. I did have that on a list. I feel like I did look at that.
You know what? This was added.
Yeah.
I think I added this to the list recently.
Let me
so
just,
I don't know that
Jim, I'm going to bring that one up. Because I feel like I looked at it, and for some reason I can't remember. King's Armory, BGG. It's a co-op tower defense game. So it's 2015. It's not that old, but yeah. Oh, here's what happened. See this rank overall? That's like a red flag for me. I know it's still not as low as some of the games we play on the channel. Like we were playing some fun older games we have in the collection that are like in the 9,000s, 8,000s, 7,000s. But when I look at my collection, a lot of games are not this low. They're in like the hundreds, maybe like the 1,000s or 2,000s, which means there's a player base behind it that like it enough to go on BGG and rank it and rate it and that kind of stuff. To me, what this tells me is there's either nobody knows about this game, B, there's no players that played it, or C, which is worse, there are a bunch of players who played it and they didn't like it enough to go on BGG and rate it good, or they hated it so much they went on BGG and rated it bad.
Oh, wow.
So I believe you, Jim. It's great. Maybe it's just people have never heard of it. But has anyone else in the chat heard of the King's Armory? But when I saw this ranking, I was like, when I was looking at a whole bunch of games, I went, I'll look at this one later, I think. Just because of that. And I don't know how easy it is to find. But I did look at this. I do remember the castles. I do remember seeing these like cardboard castles, which looked really cool. Like this looks cool. But yeah, like it looks like this would be fun to play. Like I don't see a problem with like just how it looks. But I never read into like, and look at this guy. He's having a blast eating his quesadilla over here. And he's having a good time. With what's this blanket on the window he's doing here? I don't know what that's all about, but he's trying to make sure his neighbors don't know he's playing this game. So maybe the game's not great and he's afraid his neighbors will see him playing it. So maybe that's a reason why it gets rated so low.
They don't even have it at our one local game store here, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it a Kickstarter? Actually, we can check. Maybe it's but we might be able to find it used.
Yeah.
If people don't really like it that much, it's not rated very high. That means people usually like to get games like that out of their collection.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a crowdfunding Kickstarter, so it probably didn't do that well. It has Solitaire, which we talked about, and it's part of the Tower Defense family. Cooperative action point, dice rolling, grid movement, modular board, and network and route building, variable player powers.
So it had 815 backers, and it raised, I believe this is in U.S. funds, 90,000, just over.
Yeah, that's why it's not heard of.
Oh wait, is that for? Maybe this is. Oh yeah, this is for the game.
Here, we can look that up. King's Armory. Let's go Kickstarter.
Oh, it wasn't too expensive. Looking at the Kickstarter.
Problem is, it's not full of miniatures.
I know, yeah.
So in 2015, if it wasn't full of miniatures, nobody really backed it.
Yeah.
2013 was the estimated delivery. So this Kickstarter was from like probably 2012? I make this bigger.
Let's see if I can find more info here.
It has rave reviews. Oh, it's funny looking at these old Kickstarters.
Yeah, they look so different.
Yeah, it's so funny. Still the same stupid, like scrolling for 35 minutes to get to the bottom of the page with not using the chapters things over here.
Oh, it did have minis.
Oh.
Or maybe add-ons.
They didn't put them in the main picture at the top like all the Kickstarters do now, because minis equal high-backed games.
Yeah, it looks like they're add-ons anyways. Maybe in the main game it doesn't come with them.
Yeah, but the problem with only making that much on Kickstarter to order a run of minis, that makes those minis so expensive, they would lose money. Mm-hmm. Lose money on them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I could be wrong though. Yeah,
It doesn't look terrible.
but it's like it's
But-
probably not a readily available game that you can get easy. Is the other thing. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know, Jim. I don't know. I would have to like find a copy.
Jim, do you own this game?
Yeah, Jim says he watched videos, then bought it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll
Recently
try.
bought it?
I'll try to find it if I can, but like I don't know if I'd spend money on that over something like newer. That's the problem. But man, I love Castle Panic. That game's fun, easy to teach, not too
Yeah.
complicated, but you get that whole tower defense thing from it. Like it's not true tower defense, but it's like, a castle defense kind of that kind of stuff. Right, let's go. Let's see. Rodnov's asking, Robin Mel, which game in 2020 do you feel has the most interesting mechanics / game design?
That came out in 2020 or that we played in 2020?
I would have to like get a list of 2020 games, because that's the thing. Like, what does 2020 mean? 2020 could be like, did it come to Kickstarter? Did it get delivered in all countries in 2020? Did it come out at retail in 2020? So fuzzy with the board game industry.
Yeah.
It's hard to make lists for like games of the year because certain games have delivered to like US backers right now, but maybe not other people. So it's like, is that game out yet? Is that game considered a 2020 game? Or is it considered a 2021 game? Because that's when everyone will get their copies. Anything we played in 2020. Oh, okay, perfect.
Okay, so now I have to remember just 2020. Okay.
That's a, oh man. Anything that has 2020 next to it on BGG. That's what I would do. But then again, maybe we haven't played a lot of that stuff.
Yeah,
but,
'cause
but Rod and I was just saying anything we played in 2020. Because we played lots of stuff in 2020 that had come out in 2017, 2018, 2019. I don't even know. What was something new this year you played that was like, was most interesting mechanic / game design? For me, like if it was just what I played in 2020, it's maybe a cop-out, but it's Mage Knight. Mage Knight was the one to me that I played this year. And even Spirit Island, I would say. But I think Mage Knight a little more. But Spirit Island kind of blew me away. Mage Knight really blew me away. And those were games I never played before until this year. And I played them earlier in the year. I got them literally end of last year, but didn't get them to the table till 2020. But those were games I played this year that were like, I don't know, very interesting to me. They had me hooked from a solo aspect. They had me teaching Mel multiplayer Mage Knight, had me teaching Mel multiplayer, and Justin and Kyle and everybody else multiplayer in Spirit Island. Seventh Continent, I love that game. We'll be playing that soon on the channel, which reminds me, forgot that in the update. But for those on Patreon who support us, if you support us at supporter tier or producer tier, you can vote on which Seventh Continent campaign, curse or whatever, that I play through this week. So I'm going to get Seventh Continent back to the table. I've been itching for it. I'm going to play it. I'm going to use a custom character. George A, I'm going to probably reach out to you, maybe drop it in the Discord. But for this custom character, I can pick like 5 cards from any character. So I need help from you guys, and or in the stream I might do it, to pick which 5 cards we play with that custom character. But that's what I want to do. However you create a custom character in that game. I remember talking about it before, but I want to try that. So we're going to play that. So you can go vote on whether we play the Forbidden Sanctuary or the
I have it right here.
Forbidden Sanctuary or the Swamp
Swamp of Madness.
Swamp of Madness. So those are the 2 curses I still own that I have not played. So we're going to play those live on the channel, or at least one of them. Whichever one wins the vote, we're going to play that this week. So more 7th content come to the channel. I haven't scheduled it yet, but most likely it'll be Tuesday. But yeah, so I put the poll up on Patreon. If you're interested in voting and trying to influence that, you can do that there. But yeah, I need to figure out what cards to play, but that's the next stage.
So I think for me, for answering this question, I think also might feel like a cop-out, but I feel like this War of Mine was this year that we started, right, with that game. And that has
I think so.
blown me away and probably is one of my top games. But then Euthia is brought up, and I loved that game.
Yeah, Euthia is really fun too.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not finished. We played like a prototype, so in my mind I don't consider
Even
that.
so, I loved
It was amazing for a prototype.
Yeah.
That was amazing for a prototype.
I wouldn't have thought of that one because that would, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely this War of Mine.
But it's
I
like,
would say.
it's yeah, but we did play it in 2020, but it's not something like you can buy right now. It's not
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah.
It's not out yet. But yeah, it definitely has a Mage Knight vibe to it because it's also, it same as the designer of Mage Knight,
Yeah.
was inspired heavily by Heroes, Might and Magic, or whatever that PC series is from the 90s. That's why both those games have very similar aspects to them, because they're both influenced by that PC game series. But they're both different games. They're definitely different games, but they have similar aspects, which I like a lot.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have Youthy on the channel in the future. Don't worry.
That was such a
When
good
that game delivers, when it's finished, I want to play more of Uthia for sure.
Yeah.
So you'll see that on the channel, multiplayer, solo. Yeah, we'll get it going again.
That was such a good game.
Yeah, I like that game a lot. But yeah, we played every mode in that prototype. We played solo, we played multiplayer, we played all 3 bosses, we played all the different modes for each boss and whatever. Yeah, that was fun.
That's how much we loved it.
Yeah.
Right?
We weren't paid to play that at all. We were asked for months, Rob, do you want a prototype? You can play this on your channel. I said, I don't really want to play prototypes on my channel. I'll look into your game when I have time. And I kept forgetting to reply. I kept forgetting to take the time to read the giant rule book they sent me and the giant reference book. When I finally sat down in like March of this year and I was like, all right, I'll read your damn rules. And I read them all and was like, okay, it's a little rough with the English, but I saw that there was a special game in there. And I was like, all right, let me see your prototype. And I looked at a video in their language of somebody who already had the prototype and playing with it and unboxing it. And I went, oh man, that prototype looks like a finished game. Then I found out Uthia is just like a second edition of a game they already released locally and kickstarted and already had out in the market. And they took player feedback to make it an even better game. So it's easy for them, since they already produced the similar game, to produce like production quality prototypes. And I like that they spent the time to do that. No tabletop simulator junk, is actually a fully printed production prototype. And I said, yeah, that looks beautiful. If you still have any available, I'll take it. And they were like, yep, we'll send you one, no problem. So yeah, that's how that went in the background. It was fun to work with them. And like, I give them feedback on abilities. I gave them feedback on some of the rule stuff. And they were cool working with us, sending us updates throughout it as we were learning it for the channel. I was saying, this shouldn't work this way. This should work that way. This card doesn't make sense. Like, fix this. And they were so cool at being like, yeah, keep the feedback. We love it. So I appreciate them being super open, and they were very fun to work with. And I was in the chat with Gaming Rules on his playthrough.
Oh yeah.
Because I want to see how Paul handled that game, and yeah, it was fun. I want to see if he won or lost and that kind of stuff. Because we had fun playing it, so I want to see how since there was like no other coverage, I want to see how other players in a playthrough would handle it and the choices we would make. Because that's the thing, playing a game like that was like in prototype form. There's nobody else who really played it. Was kind of cool to figure it out on our own and try to figure out strategies and builds and character selection and all that. So it was super fun. And then I want to see what Paul chose to play as and how he helped handle those characters. And it was super fun to watch. Super fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely a good game.
Yeah, I can't wait to play more of that kind of game.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I love the whole looting and like getting loot and leveling up and shopping and cycling the shop and spending your gems, getting gems and like spending them and using them for rerolls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love that. Let's see. So Larry's got a tip here. Village Attacks is not in retail, but can be preserved from Grimlord Games website. I will reach out to Grimlord Games. I didn't know it was a non-retail game. The way I found the game was actually in our local retailer's database. I went, what is this? I've never heard of this. But it was sold out or out of stock or was pre-order or whatever. But I don't think it'll come into stock. But I'm definitely going to look into that game. So Grimlord Games.
Got it.
Yeah, that's pro tip. That's probably why I couldn't find it in any other stores. And I didn't understand what the deal was with it. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Larry. But I would probably pick that game, though, over the one Jim recommended, the King's Armory. Because it's newer.
Okay.
Because it's newer. And if it's a similar kind of defense game, like that kind of stuff, I probably would pick that over that, based on initial research. But I have to do more on both. And Time Slayer is saying, or for a smart deck building tower defense, there's Goblivion. Can you put Goblivion on the list? Because I've never heard of such things.
Yeah. I was just going to say that the Village Attacks overall is 1,811. Best.
And it's a 2018 game and it's already that high.
Yeah. Best with 1 or 3.
Oh, best with 1, you say. That's good.
Up his alley
and best
for
with
sure.
3. That means it's great at solo, great at multiplayer. That's two big wins for me. It's like buying 2 games in one, how I look at it.
Okay.
But yeah, Village Attacks looks super interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both of these are noted.
That may be up my alley.
Okay.
We answered that one. George A is funny. Oh, Reese, another pro tip. Anyone who wants to try out Euthia, they do have a demo on Tabletopia that you can play if you're interested. So I know we mentioned that. I think we mentioned that during our live streams when we were playing the game and featuring the game on the channel when it was on Kickstarter. But I guess it's still available if you want to try before you buy.
That's awesome.
You can fully play through one of the scenarios. They have like one of the bosses is available there. I don't know if they add more to that or they just left it, but
I think that's amazing for a company to do that.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
And this is the thing. They didn't just do Tabletopia. They had full production prototypes to send out to reviewers and companies to play and try and backers to see in action. And on top of that, they spent the work to make the Tabletopia stuff.
Yeah.
For people who want to actually get their hands on it digitally, who need to touch it and play with it to really know they want to put their money behind it. But now a lot of companies are kind of copying out and they're going the cheap route of like, quick, whip together a tabletop simulator demo and let's not produce anything production. And I'm not a fan of that. I think do both or just do production. But if you can do both, that's awesome. But I really think they should still try to make prototypes.
Yeah, I don't think you get that same feel of watching a Tabletopia video.
We're playing board games here, not playing video games.
Yeah.
I understand there's a digital space and COVID and all that kind of stuff, and shipping is annoying right now. But still, delay your Kickstarter, make a prototype. It can be done. And let people play with the bits on a table with humans in person to see how the game functions. A lot of us board gamers, we get into board gaming to disconnect from the screen. So to me, it's offensive when it's like, yeah, we just whipped together a demo on Tabletop Simulator, and that's all we care to do. And we have a Kickstarter. It's got to launch tomorrow. Hurry up, get your money in. The Kickstarter's over in 10 days. Let's go. Not a fan. But anyways, yeah. To me, it sounds laziness. They want millions of dollars from their fans. And you don't want to spend the few $100, maybe $1,000, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but you invest. You're that strong in your product. You'll invest in a prototype and get it done, and take the time to make something functional and look quality, so that people want to invest money into their final product. The final product's not a tabletop simulator mod. So don't show me a tabletop simulator mod if your final product is not that. I don't want that. I want to see close to what I'm going to get in the end. And the connection there with the Tabletop Simulator mod and the actual production final copy is very, very far distance between those two. And I'm not a fan. So look for a Rob's rant on that.
I was just going to say hashtag Rob's rants.
Rubs me the wrong way. That one, yeah. Huge disappointment right now is that theme in the industry that everyone's doing that. Especially with these big games that they want you to spend like $500 on. And they don't take the time to put together a simple prototype.
And you can't see what you're actually going to get for the game.
And it's not even sending it to me. It's not, I'm mad that I don't have a prototype for me to get. I don't want to play your prototype. But I want to see it on somebody's channel to see the prototype.
Yeah.
So even on your own channel as the company, make a prototype. Make one prototype. Make some videos playing it.
Yeah.
That's all I want. You don't have to make 1,000 prototypes, send them to 1,000 YouTubers. Just make one.
Yeah.
And if you want, make the Tabletop Simulator stuff for fans to play. But that's me. That's my thought.
I agree.
Maybe a little old school, I don't know, but that's just my thought. I'm in board gaming, so I'm not on a computer all the time. But I am on a computer all the time. But anyways.
For a different purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jonathan's asking a question, maybe the chat can help out with. My wife loves games like Monopoly, yet I love games like Risk.
Yeah.
Do you have a suggestion for a game to buy that we will both love? Oh, man. Jonathan, are you only playing games you find in Walmart or Target and like mass? No, I'm not being. I'm not joking here. But this is the kind of thing. Like these are the reasons I made my channel, is for fans that only know of Monopoly, Risk, and the games that are on shelves in Walmart and Target. There is a whole other world out there at your local game store, online, even on Amazon, even or on Cool Stuff Inc. if you're in the US or whatever. There's modern board games that have evolved past these old designs that are like 100 years old, or 60 years old and whatever, they've evolved. So like there's better versions of games that make Risk look silly. Because remember, Risk and Monopoly were designed in like, half a century or more ago for some of them. And game development has come a long way. Like a lot of modern board games are basically designed by video game students that went through colleges, designed video games. They get out of that industry, they come to board gaming, and there's game designers and board games. They all get together and they go, let's evolve gaming. So there's better quality, more play tested. Games are out there than what Monopoly was and what Risk were when they were designed way back in the day.
Well, Jonathan's giving a little bit more. So basically, my wife wants only those.
So maybe it's a nostalgia thing. Maybe you guys only play those games because you played them as a kid.
Well, he's saying that she never seems interested in the other one. So he's asking for maybe some suggestions that he can say, how about this? So it brings them together.
So the game, I mentioned it before, but the game I recommend over Monopoly is Lords of Vegas.
100%.
Lords of Vegas is a game I can get a whole table of family members that don't play board games. I can get 80-year-olds, 60-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 16-year-olds, all at a family function. None of them play board games. Some of them haven't played board games in decades. Mm-hmm. And I can get them all around a table. And some of them don't like Monopoly. Some of them only think Monopoly is the only board game that exists. But I can put out Lords of Vegas. I can explain you that theme of running a casino in Vegas and trying to steal property from each other and gambling on what cards will come off a deck. And for some reason, all the players at the table, even our daughter, like 10-year-old daughter, now she's 11, she loves Lords of Vegas. And that is a game that I will put in front of anyone over Monopoly any day. And maybe that's a game both you together would love, but I don't know at 2-player if it's that great. You might want more players around the table. But it is a blast to bring that game out at family functions over the holidays. And if they're like, let's play Monopoly, I laugh and I go, I won't even touch that game. I will say Lords of Vegas any day, all day. Randy's recommending in the chat Azul. We just recommended that to some gamers of ours that just got it. I've yet to play that personally, but it's very abstract though.
My question to you, Jonathan, is do you play any co-op games together? Because there's a wide variety of co-op games that you can play together. Right? Because it seems like in both of these games that you're suggesting, you're playing against each other, and maybe that's the thing that's not interesting for her.
Yep.
She wants to play a game with you where you work together and figure out a puzzle of some kind of game.
And John's also following up with, I also love watching the War of the Ring playthrough, but she thinks it's too strategy.
It is.
It is way too heavy. It is like way more heavy than Risk and all that. It's like a lot of strategy to it. There's so many systems within systems going on there. You definitely need to scale it down. That's like very high level of complexity. Mm-hmm. That's like there's a lot of games in between that you need to play first before you jump into a War of a Ring type game. But you also need to, like I say before, find a theme that you guys can both like. So if you were saying, who likes the Risk and who likes Monopoly?
Wife likes Monopoly, Jonathan likes Risk.
So yeah, Lords of Vegas does have the head-to-head stuff, but...
I guess the question, does your wife play Risk with you, but you like it more than she does? Is that the level here?
The game that replaced Risk for me and made me like... I played Risk and liked Risk when I was a kid, but then I played it again in my 20s and then realized like this is garbage. And when I went looking for games, I found Game of Thrones: The Board Game 2nd Edition, which had similar aspects to Risk, but also had a theme I loved, and it was a little more weighty and more up-to-date with mechanics and stuff. But it is very complex. It is a complex game, and it's not great at 2 players. Definitely not great at 2 players. You need 5, 6 players. But Pandemic is a good recommendation in the chat I see. Try Pandemic. That is a game a lot of couples love to play together. Mel and I first played that game camping together with our daughter. Yeah. She was sleeping. We're like, here's a game that everyone says to play. We tried it. We love playing together. We're playing through it on the channel right now in Pandemic Legacy. But if you've never played Pandemic, try it. Small World is another great game to try. They just came out with that World of Warcraft. Ticket to Ride is okay.
Ticket to Ride can get boring though after a while, right?
It depends. Maybe she loves it.
But maybe, yeah.
Ticket to Ride's another great, like, it's now in Walmarts and Targets and big box stores.
Is it something you can replay over and over again?
Yeah, a lot of people play it. Okay. Yeah, they just buy new maps and stuff or new games that have different mechanics in them. There might be a Ticket to Ride you might like better, but there's a bunch of different ones.
Pandemic, what series, Jonathan's saying? Would you say base Pandemic start there?
I would just grab regular Pandemic. You can get that at like Walmart and Target. Just go buy Pandemic. try it out because you may not like it enough to play it more than a few times.
Yeah.
I wouldn't start with a Legacy.
I wouldn't start with a Legacy.
Don't start with
for
a
sure.
Legacy until you know you like Pandemic.
Yeah. And then if you love it and you play it, then you can maybe...
It's co-op. It's co-op. You'll be working together. You have
Yeah.
to work together. Like, it'll bond you.
Yeah.
It'll work together. Try Pandemic. Look, research these games, though, Jonathan. Don't just go buying anything blindly. Don't buy anything blindly.
And show her.
Take all these games, sit her down on the couch, and bring them up on YouTube or in front of the computer. And go just watch a few minutes of a playthrough or watch some reviews. And they'll explain the base mechanics of it. And some of that stuff might click. You might see your wife's eyes light up.
Yeah.
And you'll see. And maybe a certain theme is better. Like, Pandemic's theme, it relates very much right now to what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
So it's easy to link that theme, and some people might like it, some people might hate it. But we're all trying to stop a pandemic right now from spreading. That's literally what that game's doing. It's very relatable.
Yeah,
that
very
theme
relatable.
hits home right now.
Yeah.
And it's been a very popular game for many years. It's been on a lot of top high-selling lists. And yeah, Pandemic series is great. Lots of great expansions for it if you want to add more spice to it. There's lots of side theme games, and there's legacy type games too. So if you guys fall in love with Pandemic, there's hours and hours and hundreds of dollars you can invest in that game if you guys have a blast playing it.
Yeah, and it might open you up to a whole
Yep.
new world of co-op
games, man.
which is huge. I love playing co-op games with him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we do play the whole battle games against each other, but
Yeah,
co-op games is awesome.
Co-op games means I sleep on the couch less. Versus competitive games where like I end up sleeping on the couch because I do some shady move,
Yeah,
some outsmarting play, backstabbing, all that stuff is like no.
That's funny. But yeah, unlocked games. I love those. So we're running off the
Forbidden
same-
Island,
Oh.
Forbidden Island and Forbidden Desert are made by the same guy that did Pandemic. They're smaller box games, they're cheaper games than Pandemic. But there's not as much meat on them as Pandemic.
Yeah.
But those are also a cheaper version. You could probably find those used anywhere and find them cheaper. But they're so similar that I bought Forbidden Island, then I played Pandemic, and then I never wanted to go play Forbidden Island again.
Right.
I bought that to play with our daughter too because it's a little more simple, but it is a co-op game. It's like, you can tell Pandemic is like, you can tell it's the same designer, like, but also Forbidden Desert, and there's like Forbidden something else, some new one that came out a while back. Castle Panic, great co-op, co-op.
Yep.
Yeah, I love Castle Panic.
I think what you do, you start with something like that.
Yeah, just go research
Play
these
that,
games. Research these games.
And
Just
come
go
back and let us know
Yep.
how it went.
Yep, spend a few hours researching on the computer, look on Board Game Geek, watch some video reviews.
Yeah.
Oh, Forbidden Skies, that's the other one. Yeah. I don't know that one though. I don't know enough about Forbidden Skies to know if it's like a replacement for recommending Forbidden Desert or whatever, but I would probably recommend Forbidden Desert if you can find it easily and it's cheap. It's definitely a good entry way into trying co-op games.
Yeah.
To know if they'll work with your group. But Pandemic, great game.
It's a great game.
Like people love that game, and it's spawned hundreds of games and hundreds of games trying to be Pandemic. And yeah, it was the one that really got co-op off the ground in the board game industry.
Yep.
It sparked all this co-op stuff.
Yeah.
Which is great. Wasn't the first co-op game. It was just the first highly popular mainstream game that caught on.
Yeah. So let us know how it goes.
Yeah,
We'd
yeah.
be so curious.
Let
to
us know.
Yeah.
Also, theme. Again, I'll mention it again. Theme, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Find out a theme your wife likes. Find out what books she reads, what movies she likes, what shows she likes. Like one theme that I got Mel hooked with was she loved The Walking Dead. She loved watching The Walking Dead, the whole zombie thing, post-apocalyptic thing when that show was hot and it first came out. She then started buying comics, reading the comics. I was like, what the heck?
I read through the books.
She read through the books, I mean.
Both. I read through the comics.
Oh, okay.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, she was so obsessed with that. She listened to podcasts about it and stuff that I was like, Mel, let me show you this game, Zombicide. And she was like, oh, okay. And we tracked down a copy and we got it when it was like out of print. It was still new. And we found a copy at a local game store. And yeah, we bought it and she played it and she fell in love.
Zombicides were, Zombicide.
Yep. And Dead of Winter. Dead of Winter I grabbed because I thought that would help pull Mel into it. So I wasn't so interested in Zombicide that much at the beginning. I mean, I kind of liked it. No, I'm even less
you
into
can
it.
be honest, it's okay. He plays it to humor me. It's
But it was a
fine.
way I looked at pulling players in. I thought there were a bunch of players at the time that I could pull into the hobby and be sneaky and get them into playing and get a bigger play group.
Yep.
Zombicide was one of those games I used to do that in Dead of Winter.
Yeah.
Which you can find old playthroughs on the channel of those games back when I was getting into the hobby. Yeah.
Again, because they're co-op
Yep.
games that we can play together. And
Because the theme
too, yeah.
connected with something you could relate to, and it can pull you in and keep your attention as I'm teaching you boring mechanics.
Yeah.
And teaching you boring rules. Like it just, and then it connected. So yeah. Use theme to your advantage is how I would say to pull people into the hobby or get your wife to play with you. That's what you have to do.
Oh, she's into vampires and zombies. Oh, there you go.
Theory, it's a little complicated. It might be a little complicated above Risk in Monopoly, but Fury of Dracula, if you like if she likes vampires and one of you can play Dracula, the other one controls 4 heroes or hunters. It's like a hidden role game. Each player plays a little different. Against the hunters, they have a little different rules. Dracula has different rules. I know it's kind of out of print-ish, but so many people bought that game, you can probably find a used copy. And if you're willing to get through the rule book, but watch videos first. But vampires, that would be my vampire game. Horrified. Horrified is actually a great game, Hexy. Yeah. Hexy mentioned Horrified. Jonathan, before you buy Pandemic, compare it to Horrified. They're very similar. They're co-op games trying to put out fires, but Horrified is a universal monster theme with like Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman. Yes, check out Horrified.
Yeah.
It's newer, and you may be able to find it easier and or cheaper than Pandemic. And you may like that better for theme-wise. Yeah. So sorry, Horrified and Pandemic, don't buy both unless you really love that whole idea. I play both.
Yeah.
But you might not need to start with both. But one may get your wife to the table more often than the other and pull her in. So sorry, check out Horrified, compare it to Pandemic.
And Jonathan, complicated is not an issue. She did learn magic. Okay, so complicated is not the issue. So that's great. That's great. That opens your world up as well if she's willing to play more heavier games.
BitJam says, how about Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Never played it, don't know anything about it. But I think it's like
popular.
Is that not an out of print game though? Like hard to find? And
Jonathan did ask above, can I borrow your couch if needed? Well, hopefully if you're playing these co-op games, you won't need it. But you're welcome to, yes.
Man.
When Rob's not on it. Just kidding. Oh, that's so funny.
But yeah, I'm glad everyone can help and give suggestions here to help Jonathan. That's so great. I love that. I love that.
I love these.
Yeah, like I say all the time, I always forget to mention this in chats. And if you're watching this channel in the future, you're watching this later, it's not live, or you're here live, join our streams and you can ask questions to the chat. I haven't played every game. I don't have an opinion on everything. But we have a live community that all have gathered around board gaming and based on some of the games we play on the channel. So if you find a video on this channel and you found this channel and you're like, oh man, I want to know other games that are like this, or where do I go next, or how do I get my friend to play board games? Ask these questions in the chat when you're here for any live stream. Show up for a live stream and the chat will have answers for you. You can pull the chat. It comes here to hang out and discuss and talk about stuff in the chat. It doesn't have to be just the game we're currently playing. We try to save the questions for me to get off on side tangents to prevent that, to talk about stuff in these streams. But yeah, come, ask the community. Everyone's very friendly,
yes,
which I love. And I love the way people can help out each other. And I ask questions of the community. They ask questions of me. You guys ask questions of each other. I love that. I love that's spawned off this. I think it's great.
The other thing is we can give an answer, but then when you see people in the chat giving either the same answer or a variety of answers, you can kind of say, okay, yeah, that will fit with me based on things that the chat is saying, based on things that we're saying.
True.
You don't have to just take what we say.
I see Xandor's here. Hello.
Hello.
Xandor's here. All right. Let's see. Any more questions? Xandor, do you have any questions? I know you've been joining our chats lately in our streams. This is our Q&A. I know you're fairly new around here. If you have any questions not related to any games or based on the channel, anything, let us know. Let us know. Anyone who's just joined recently, just let us know.
I'm just going to scroll up a little bit because
we'll answer a few more questions, but I know some people joined late.
Scott did agree with you, though. That's so funny. My wife was in the same path. Walking Dead to Zombicide, Pandemic, Legacy, and Beyond. Theme is key for new players. It is, 100%.
Yep. At least I find it that way. I don't know if that's everywhere. Is that a 4x4?
Oh, see?
Mel joked, Janet.
I did joke about
Mel joked
this.
about going. We have a Tim Hortons near us.
Yeah.
She debated going over there before the stream just to order like a coffee and make a joke like we write on it. That's like a 4x4 and I'll be drinking it during the stream. And to see who got that joke, who was here for the streams when we talked about that. But I was like, I don't know how many people will be watching. I don't even know what the heck we're talking about. So we
Yeah.
didn't do it. But
But I should have done it. That would have been funny.
no, it's
Janet
not.
would have got it.
Yes. I know.
Well, there's other people that would have got it as well, but she's the one that brought it up. That is so funny.
No, it's not a 4x4. Hold on. No, my heart's still beating normally. It's not a 4x4. We're good.
Yeah, definitely not.
Let's see here.
You scroll all the way to the bottom. Tara has a question.
Yanis
you're
has
not
a
there
question.
yet. Okay, yeah.
Hey, have you backed Endless Winter?
That's on our list,
Is it?
actually.
I don't,
Endless Winter. Yeah, it's on our list to
I don't think I
research.
looked at that one.
Okay. We
I
will.
thought I looked through all the games we had on the list before,
Is
but
this a Kickstarter right now?
I don't know. Endless Winter, I haven't looked into it, but I feel like I did, but something about it is not coming to mind. As you can see, I can't put names to games sometimes.
Oh, Late Pledge.
Oh, this is the one with the same artist,
Oh, as
like the
the
Garfield games.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll look into this. This is a Late Pledge Kickstarter. Yeah. Oh yeah, it does look very similar to that style. We did look at this.
I think we did. It looks freaking nice, though.
Yeah, we looked into this.
Why?
Okay, we'll have to look into it more. I remember us quickly looking at it, but maybe it wasn't open. Maybe the Late Pledge wasn't open when we
I
looked
don't
at it.
know.
Estimated is next year, end of year.
That's another thing too. It's like over a year away, and that's
Yeah.
just the estimated delivery.
Yeah, December
It'll really
2021.
come out mid 2021
No, it'll come out mid 2022.
or 2022. Sorry, yeah.
So that's a long time
That's probably
away.
that's probably what happened.
why.
I looked at it. I thought it looked nice,
Oh, look, it's Matt.
but then it's like, yeah, I know, but it's like, do I know I even like the game? Like I can
No, I
watch
know.
videos, and it's like, are they really going to deliver that? I don't know who these guys are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it freaking looks awesome.
Yeah, it does look awesome, but I think 2021 late.
But it's so far out, and
Yeah.
like, is it going to come to retail? If it's that great, I can find it at retail later. But we'll look at the late pledge. It's just if shipping, maybe shipping was high for
I
Canada.
just want to do some. Oh, it is in Canadian dollars. Why is it?
No, I know it does that.
I'm trying to.
I know. I don't know why it's doing that. That's okay. Find the shipping. But anyways. Yeah, we'll look into that one. Might be good for the channel. Oh, I found the question. Can I borrow your couch if needed?
Oh yeah.
There it is. Who was the question from? You said Scott?
Tara, but it's at the bottom. So if you're not there yet, I just
Oh
thought
no,
you
I'm
were
scrolling through.
searching.
I'm trying not to miss
Yeah,
questions.
no, you're good.
I feel bad when I do, but sometimes I just scroll past and I don't realize there's a question. I'm trying to catch up now.
So I guess it depends on what the part of the game is you get, but it looks like it's anywhere from $20 to $30 for shipping in Canada for
Which
that
is
game,
like standard,
depending
it seems,
on what
for...
you get for the game.
So Time Slayer's asking, so when is the Cthulhu Death May Die playthrough? I'm not sure yet. Hopefully before the end of the
soon.
year. But Mel wants to paint some of it, so I need to read the rules, figure out like what you need for a playthrough. Maybe she can paint like the one episode worth of content and miniatures and one of the bosses, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we'll do a playthrough with some painted stuff. But if it's too much to paint, I don't want to delay it too long. I might just
No.
get it on the channel like half painted or not painted, which is fine. But I do want to start playing that. And I will try it solo, and I want to play it multiplayer with Mel. And
Yeah.
it looks like it'd be fun. Also, it'd fit for like Kyle and or Justin, who like the Zombicide, like Invader, Black Plague, that kind of stuff. It looks very similar in that kind of realm. So I think they might find that really fun to play too.
Yeah.
So you'll see lots of that on the channel, I'm pretty sure, unless we're not having fun with it. But yeah, don't worry. We'll have that come to the channel. We'll give it its time in the light, and we'll play a bunch of it. And yeah, we'll do it live.
John B was giving a recommendation for me on how to paint that as well, based on.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'll have to maybe reach out in
Okay.
Discord on what exactly he said, because I've lost the message.
Time Slayer's saying, did you look up Kingdom Rush?
I don't think so.
I don't know about that game.
No, so we'll do that.
Add it to the list.
Okay, added.
Scott's asking. I don't think I skipped Tara. I don't think so yet.
Nope, you're good.
Oh, I see Tara. Okay, I'll get your question in a sec, Tara. Sorry. I just got too many bones after watching your Age of Tyranny campaign. Which Age of Tyranny campaign? Well, we've done 2 on the channel. 1 solo, 1 multiplayer. Which Gearlock do you recommend if I'm going to play mostly solo to start? So I
There you
assumed you
go.
watched Gilly. Maybe you didn't. I don't know.
Oh, thanks, John.
I thought John left.
No, I came back.
Oh, I see how it is.
I'm gonna
Just
copy.
joking.
I'm gonna
I
copy
know you're
that.
talking about John. I'm like, he's not here, so yeah, okay,
Nope.
we'll talk later.
He's
Okay,
back. I saw.
that's cool. That's cool.
Just gonna...
So we just got too many bones after watching Age of Tyranny. Oh, both. You watch both. Awesome. I'm just being a joker. It's all good. Let's see. I'm going to play mostly solo to start. I recommend Nugget or Gilly. Nugget or Gilly are both definitely, they were designed with solo in mind more than some of the other gear locks. You can technically play anybody. I have proven, even ones that people say are like impossible, like Tink or Dart.
Yep. Chat's agreeing.
Tink or Dart, everyone laughs and goes, no, they suck solo, don't play them. But I played them solo and had fun and won, or got close to winning. That it was an exciting playthrough and had a blast. So you can play any gear lock. Find whatever one you think has the most fun mechanics. They all work solo. You can lower the difficulty if you need, if you feel like you want to experiment with some fun, goofy dice that may not work best in solo. But every gear lock has a build that works good in solo, and some dice you can experiment with based on what's happening. But Nugget and Gilly are both super solid, well-rounded gear locks that have stuff that you can use that makes them super strong by themselves.
Yeah.
But not every gear lock. Some gear locks have weaknesses that they need another gear lock on the mat or 2 or 3 gear locks on the mat to help protect them. But like Gilly has his pets you can throw on the board if you need some targets to help buy you some turns. He has great offense. He can take enemies out before they take you out. Nugget has built-in healing. I think Gilly has the fortunate discoveries, able to grab loot on their own, because in solo, loot goes up in value big time. So if you can find a bit of healing loot or something to give you extra dex or extra attack, everyone laughs and doesn't go for the loot and thinks loot's a joke, and the choices and trading points is where it's at. But you need to still grab some loot. And with a character who can get loot on their own, the fortunate discovery is the consumable. Sorry, I'm getting confused. But the Nugget's able to grab extra loot, is what I was trying to say. I may have said Gilly and I meant, I'm confused.
Nugget also can heal too, which it helps.
Yes.
Right? Having that built-in heal.
The backup
for
plan
yourself,
healing, is huge.
Yeah.
But also Picket is rock solid, but not as interesting of a play, in my opinion, solo.
Yeah.
But he is rock solid. Yeah, so.
And the chat is agreeing, definitely Gilly or Nugget, and Picket might not be bad. So
I
everything
didn't
you
even
said
see that.
is exactly what the chat is saying as well.
I say that I've answered this question so many times.
Yeah.
So.
They just knew what you were going to say.
Yeah.
Just wanted to.
And when you really want some challenge and a lot going on at once, the Lab Rats are a freaking blast solo, and I've loved playing them. So much going on, so many choices to make. Oh, love it. But don't go there until you're have played too many bones for a while and you need some spice. But definitely the third wave of content, Dart, Lab Rats, and Splice and Dice stuff, definitely ups the complexity, ups the challenge, adds some more icing on the cake. But yeah, start with Gilly and Nugget. They're rock solid.
Yeah.
They both have weaknesses, though, which is still good. Every gear lock has a weakness and makes them, a little challenging by themselves, but that's part of the fun. Adapt, which is great. But yeah, Lab Rats are rock solid, too. But they're just more complex.
Yeah, I want to try them one time.
They're definitely a bit to wrap your head around.
Yeah.
It's much easier to just play one gear lock rather than 4 in one. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Oops, no. Hold on. Sorry, one sec. I need to get Tara's before I lose it off the screen. So Tara's here. I have a mom question. So Tara's obviously a mom. No, I'm just kidding. Mansions of Madness. When you fail a scenario at the end, how do you convince yourself to do it again? Does the mystery change the second time? So, go ahead, Mel. Let's see if you know.
Well, how do you convince yourself to do it again? That's a tough question. I mean, after you've played through it, you may not want to play it again.
Take a break between plays. Take a break, go play a different game, come back to it in a month or a week or whatever.
You'll forget a little bit of the story. Now, it will change where things are. Your overall arching story likely seems
to be the same.
Similar. But if you had to find, I don't know, something, you had to find X and it was here. Well, now maybe in the next one, X is going to be in a different spot. So the layout will change. Maybe the way the rooms are positioned would change. Where things are located would change.
You could try different characters that spices it up. They give you starting different weapons, but also some missions have multiple paths to victory. I'm pretty sure.
True, that is true as well. Yeah.
Some have that for sure. I watched a presentation from one of the guys from the software group at FFG talk for an hour about designing the Mansions of Madness app and how they figured that out, and kind of the pitfalls and the things that they didn't figure out and they failed on, and things they did well. But that first scenario, they talked about how they knew it'd be the most played scenario, that first one in the core set. So that one, they actually have multiple paths to victory, and like a random chance, like 1 in every 10 playthroughs ish, the final objective, the way the scenario works, changes to keep it interesting, because that's the one that they knew get played the most, and they see all that data. They've been collecting data from the app, and they can see supposedly how often certain scenarios are getting played.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
So they get feedback to see what people are choosing. So for future expansions, they know what worked and what didn't, which is kind of neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do randomize it up, and based on what expansions you own, if you play a game from the core set and you buy an expansion later and tell it you have that expansion, you will see different tiles mixed in. You might see different weapons fixed in. You might see different game mechanics pulled into that same scenario and might spice it up.
Or different monsters that you might be facing.
Or different
as well.
monsters. It might pull from different monsters, yes.
But I guess if you're going to play it again, I would maybe suggest, like Rob said, not playing it right away, or playing a different mission in the middle and then going back to it.
There were some scenarios that I found super fun, even though we lost. I was like, I want to try that again. Like, I want to see that again, that we had fun playing it for those hours.
Yeah.
I want to try it again. But there are some scenarios where I felt like we got so close and it came down to some dice rolls. I get frustrated. I'm like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, I guess that would be the difference too, is if you got close enough that you know, if I had just done this, I would have won. If I had just beat this monster, I would have won. Maybe you don't want to play those ones again. But there is certain scenarios where maybe you don't get far enough and you're not even quite sure, if I had done this, would I have won? I don't know. Maybe those are the ones you want to replay.
So Michael's asking, did you take a look at Frostpunk? So, good question. Yeah. I've answered this a few times, so I'll try to put together all my current thoughts on it. When it was on Kickstarter, the only thing I could find, this was one of the games that started rubbing me the wrong way when I started seeing this happen. They only had a tabletop simulator demo. And I found there was gameplay. Quackalope, I think, did a gameplay video. And I started to watch some of it, and I was like, I can't follow along. I don't know what's happening. The view he was watching from, everyone's hands moving around. I can't tell what players are doing.
And I think he's flipping views a lot,
he's flipping views. I just, for some reason, I couldn't follow along. And those tabletop simulator plays of board games, I can follow along some of them. Like, I watched George A, if he's still here. I don't know if he is. He's always in the chat with us on Too Many Bones, Mage Knight, and that stuff. You guys know George. He has on his channel a playthrough of Too Many Bones with Tink. And he does it all on Tabletop Simulator because it's easier. It's like you can play it on Tabletop Simulator. It's easy to record your screen, talk into your microphone on your laptop. You can make a video with Tabletop Simulator super quick. You don't need lighting. You don't need the components on the table. You don't need to set it up. It's just there. And I was able to watch George's because I'm following one guy playing solo and moving from component to component, explaining everything. Did a very good job. I watched that, didn't have an issue. I was like, wow, maybe I can watch Tabletop Simulator playthroughs. But then I go to some where they're playing 4 and 5 player games and I'm lost. I don't know what's going on, who's rolling the dice, who's moving what is happening. Like, I just get confused.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can play multiplayer video games online. Like, I don't know. And I have fun interacting with it. And I could play digital games like that, I'm sure. But Frostpunk was only digital and it turned me off. And I was like, nope. I'll wait till you guys produce a physical game before I take a look at this.
Yeah.
And I read some of the components, and I've never played the video game. I have it now. I have it. It was on sale on Steam. I got it. I will play the digital game, and then I will look at the board game later when it comes out retail or later on when they're finished. And I'll judge then. I'll decide then. But because of the way they came to Kickstarter and all they had was a Tabletop Simulator demo, you put half-ass investment into your Kickstarter, I put half-ass investment into my research in your game. I'll move on. There's other games to look at. So I just voted with my wallet on that one and thought, nah. I'm gonna vote with this one. I'm not gonna back it.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's great. I know a lot of people backed it. It's Awaken Realms, right? So I'm pretty sure. Was it Awaken Realms? I don't even know.
I don't remember.
No, I don't think it was actually. But yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait to see what they actually produce in the end and what the final product is. But if it's really a great game, I'll be able to get it later. So I'm not worried about it. But that's my stance on that one. Yeah.
Glass Cannon Unplugged? That's what it was created by?
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I don't know who this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, supposedly the
Designers of Nemesis.
It has like one of the designers that worked on Nemesis, one of the designers that worked on this War of Mine. but the publisher, I don't know the publisher.
Yeah.
Who is the publisher? Who's bringing this game?
Where can I find that on here somewhere?
Glass Cannon Unplugged. Who is
Oh.
that? Click on them. What have they done before? First project they've ever done on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
All they brought. How do you know they're not just going to steal your money? How do you know? How do you know they're not going to come later and ask for more money to ship you that game like some other companies have done? It's hard for first-time creators, and that's a big game. That's a big game. Mm-hmm. Will they do it properly? Will they keep it at the price they say? Will they include what they say they're going to include? Will they make miniatures of less quality to try to make more profit? Will they deliver their game in the time they say? I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'll wait. If it's that great, I'll grab a copy later. It'll come to retailer. They'll do another Kickstarter. They'll come out with an expansion just for an excuse to come to Kickstarter. We'll get it later. But it's not a game I'm like, I need to back it now, or I'll miss out on some exclusive. Oh my God. I'll just wait.
I mean, I think I might like the game based on everything I know about
I'll
it.
play
but
I'll play the
we'll
PC
see.
game with you and show you what kind of game it is, because I know kind of it's like a city building game, but it's got that dark theme like this War Mine.
Yeah. And based on that, I think
yeah.
I might like it. But again,
Yeah.
we don't have enough information on
Yeah.
what the game is actually going to look like as a game.
Yeah, I'm not tied to the theme yet. I need to play the video game to know, like, okay, this is where it's coming from. Although I went the other way around with this War of Mine, I have the video game, I haven't played it yet, but I really love the board game. So it could be I don't care about the video game and the board game's amazing.
Yeah.
Who knows? But we'll see.
It's tough. So many games out there, and can't buy them all, unfortunately. Even if we want to.
Yeah. Especially Kickstarters.
Yeah, especially Kickstarters.
I can definitely buy
wanted to see
more
when that
retail
was coming.
games. I can buy more retail games because it's like I can throw a bunch on order. I'm not paying shipping on them. But man, to back all these Kickstarters with like $30, $40 shipping, even just to buy just a core set, plus US conversion or Euro to Canadian conversion, it gets really pricey to pre-order games off Kickstarter.
Yeah, you're tying a lot of money into something that's going to come
Yeah.
a lot later. So this says estimated delivery is June 2021.
So it's going to come
So
out by the
again,
end of 2021,
yeah.
early 2022 probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Hexy's saying he generally only does retail. I'm kind of that way. I will do some Kickstarters thanks to our Patreon supporters. I've been able to invest in some Kickstarters that you guys keep mentioning because we have the funds now. But I was limiting my Kickstarters to almost nothing for a while there, and only doing retail because my theory was if your game is that great in the sea, the flooded sea, the bloody waters as they call it, of Kickstarter, where there's so many games, like every second there's a new game to distract your attention, and another game, and then another game, and this other game came back, there's a reprint, now there's an expansion, there's this, where do I put all my money? Because you could back a game you think it's the right game, and the next day a new game could hit Kickstarter that is better than that one, that would have fit what you're looking for more. Now what do you do?
Yeah.
But how I like to look at it is that we also have the luxury, if a game's that great, it will get backed, it will get made, and it may come into retail, or will come back to Kickstarter in another edition. Because if it's that great, the demand will be there, and the company will want to make more money.
Yeah,
So they will make it available. But if it comes out from Kickstarter and it's too bloated and nobody's playing it and there's no buzz and nobody's carrying it at retail and nobody's buying it, no one's stocking it, then the game wasn't that great and I don't care that I missed it. Who
Right.
cares?
Then you save yourself some money.
Then I save myself some money. I don't bring a game in front of you guys that is bad or whatever, or might not be interesting. That's the way I look at it. So yeah, unless a Kickstarter really wows me, like for example, 7th Citadel, I played enough 7th Continent to know, based on the changes I saw coming from 7th Citadel, I want more of that, and I like the fantasy theme on it, and I like the mechanics they're adding, so that for me was I'll back it. And that's not a game you'll find in retail very easily, and I feel a lot of faith in the company. The first 7th Continent Kickstarter, I did not back it. I saw the game and went, this looks silly. Why am I playing Librarian, flipping through all these cards? This looks silly. I don't think I would like this. The theme didn't really grab me. But then it came out, people got a hold of it, I saw reviews, I saw playthroughs, a little bit of playthroughs, and was like, oh man, this looks interesting. Mel, check this out. I showed Mel was like, oh, I'd like to play that. That looks fun, like an awesome adventure game. Yeah, I'll try that. And I went, okay, oh, they're doing another Kickstarter now. After all the reviews came out, people played it, people I trust, gave good feedback, and I backed it in the second Kickstarter. Of course, I didn't play it for a while. When I finally played it, I really fell in love with it solo. And now, because of that, I trust in serious pulp, based on what I saw, that I back it. But if I saw the exact same game, maybe I wouldn't have. If I saw they messed up the formula, maybe I wouldn't have backed it still. Just because it's serious pulp doesn't mean I'm going to back everything they do.
Yeah.
Same with Chip Theory Games. Same with Fantasy Flight Games. Same with all these companies who make games. Not on Kickstarter, and retail, all of it together. I can't always trust that every project to come out with is going to be a winner. So I don't blindly back a lot of things because of that.
Yeah. And when you think about it, we do have a couple already that we have in the hopper that we're waiting for.
Yeah. There's no shortage of
Yeah.
awesome games that are out at retail or just delivering that are amazing that you can get.
Yeah.
So sometimes I look and I'm like, do I spend $200 on Kickstarter including shipping? Or do I just spend that $200 on like 2 big-ass games at retail that just came out this year?
That have been sitting on your wish list,
That
right?
Yeah, I've been wanting for a
that you
while, or
wanted.
maybe just delivered, like Nemesis, for example. That's one I couldn't get a hold of. I missed the Kickstarter. I didn't want to back it on Kickstarter. I put my foot down and said, no, I want the retail Nemesis to become available, and it just came in stock a couple months ago, and now you can find it out in the retail world. And I said, I'll get it at retail. Support my local game store, buy a big game. I don't want to pay the extra shipping on it.
Yeah.
Boom, we got Nemesis finally at retail. We were patient, we were waiting, but I guarantee you we will not have any less fun than if we got it on the original retail release or on the original run. So if a game is that great, you'll be able to find it later. There's no shortage of available great games.
Yeah, very true.
Boom, that's the way I say it. Okay, we'll just do a couple more questions here. Oh, Larry's mentioning Isofarian Guard. Can you put that on there?
Yeah.
I feel like that's been delayed. I look up that game every couple months. I missed the Kickstarter on that one, but I do want to try that game. It looks like it could be good, but I'm not 100% sure it'll be a great game. But it has the potential.
Okay.
Late pledge still available. Yeah, but I got to see the most recent updates on that one. Because based on the Kickstarter, it didn't have me giving enough faith that I would fully invest. But the idea of it, and it looked like a game I'd probably have fun too. Hans, no worries. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. No problem. Oh, I remember this one. Yeah.
Yep. It has like the narration from the guy from the Night's Watch and Lord of the Rings, or Game of Thrones, the show. Is poker chips pulling out of a bag. It has upgrading your board, like kind of like Euthia. You're adventuring around a map.
Oh, this says people will start getting this.
No, it's been delayed
Oh,
and
it's been
delayed and delayed.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because it says December 2020.
No,
Just in...
see, that's other BS. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
Okay.
yep, no worries. But good call. Yeah, remind me when that's actually like delivering. I'll look at it. I don't know if I'll late pledge it. I still kind of, with that company and with that game, I kind of want to see what the final product is. My faith is not 100% with that product or with that project. But we'll see. Maybe they're going to make something amazing. If they do, I'll play it later. I don't need to be the first. That's fine.
Okay.
So Xandor does have a question. Rob, do you only play a game on table? You need to try Gabriel Knight, King's Quest, Crandia, and Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate. I see them talking about that in the Discord.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've never played a Baldur's Gate. No, I play video games too. Less now that I'm like have a YouTube channel focused around board games.
Those are
yeah,
video
those are
games?
computer games. Yeah.
Okay.
I've never heard of Gabriel Knight. King's Quest sounds familiar, but I've never heard of Crandia. I know what Baldur's Gate is. Yeah. I'm going to play some digital games on the channel. We talked about it in our Gloomhaven digital stream recently. I got that Call of Cthulhu game. I want to play through that on the channel. Stuff that's still kind of board game related, I think I'll play through. But yeah, video games right now, what I'm playing is Call of Duty Warzone, or whatever it's called, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone. I play that as an escape to de-stress, shoot some people in the face. But I also, or get shot in the face actually more than shoot people in the face. And I also have been playing, we just got it recently, was the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I got a hold of that, played a bit of that. Haven't been fun with that. I love Zelda games. I love Dark Souls games. I love fantasy games. Yeah. So that's really, but it's like very limited. I have so many games I haven't played that we've gotten. I just don't have time for it all. But yeah, I can quickly boot into a game of Warzone really fast and play a bit of it for like, 20 minutes. I can play it for 2 hours and then escape and get out. And there's like no ongoing story I'm locked in. Also, Grand Theft Auto 5, I played a little bit of that. The Witcher I started, but then I have to go restart because I played a few hours of that and have to go back to it. The Witcher 3. But yeah, there's all these games I've like dabbled in, but then it's like, man, they take so much time commitment that I just don't have. So it's like, yeah, it's hard to focus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mainly play board games though. Mainly play board games now. I used to be a very heavy video gamer, but I've kind of fallen out of that stuff. But yeah, Baldur's Gate though, I should probably look into that because everyone in the Discord is talking about that game, and I probably would love it. Oh, Jonathan has another question. Yeah, you better be sorry.
Oh my
How
gosh.
dare you ask another question? No, I'm
Don't be
just joking.
sorry
It's all good.
at all.
Jonathan, are you Canadian? Maybe that's why you're apologizing, because we get made fun of for apologizing on stream all the time. Sorry for yet another question, but do you know of any solo-based strategy games? Okay, Jonathan, I'm going to tell you this. This is the way you got to do it. It's going to take some time. There are, I think, videos teaching you how to use Board Game Geek, but you can go to Board Game Geek. There is a strategy. You can filter all the games in Board Game Geek. I mean, like 100,000 games. Oh, you're in Georgia. 100,000 games. You can sort by strategy games. There's a top strategy list where you can go see every game, how it's ranked in the strategy category. Then you also you can export that or sort by best at one or games with a solo mode. There is tons. I don't even know where to start, but I bet you could. And maybe somebody right now who's watching could do it. I'm not going to do it on the stream, I don't think, but maybe somebody could export. Like, I think you have to export it. You put the best with column. I've done this before. It takes some time. I don't know if there's an easy way to do it in the database. Hexy knows. Okay, Hexy knows. Sort by strategy. Find on the strategy list the ones that are top solo and name a few, and maybe some of the chat can recommend ones over the other. But if you are interested in a certain mechanic, a certain theme, a certain genre, Board Game Geek is just a huge database. It's like the Wikipedia of board games. BoardGameGeek.com. Go on there. Oh, yes, John B is mentioning there's a one-player guild. Google one-player guild on BGG. Go in there, ask that question.
Oh.
Ask that question, or search in those forums, and you will find somebody else who asked that question, and you will find hundreds of other solo board gamers who will give you good answers.
There's also, and Hexy's talking about the solo board game group on
Yep,
Facebook as
yep.
well. If you're a Facebook user,
Yep.
that's a great group to follow.
I do have a video on the channel of my favorite solo board games, but I've only been solo board gaming for like a year and a half now. I haven't played a lot. I've only played like 40-ish games solo, but I was asked to put together a top solo list, so I did it, but I feel like I'm not the solo gaming authority by any means.
Also, it wasn't strategy specific.
But
right?
man, a lot of the games
lot
I
of them
love
were,
are
yeah.
in that strategy category. So I do
Yeah.
have a video. If you look up Rob's Gaming Table top solo games, you might find some games on there. A lot of them are heavy. A lot of them are heavy strategy games, and lots of hours to be put into them. But that's what I like. That's what I like in my video games that I play solo. I like that in my board games too, to be solo. I like them to have complex systems, complex rules, lots of strategy, lots of decisions. I like them to burn my brain when I play and make me drool when I'm done. But yeah, that's just me. I like adventures and that kind of stuff. But yeah, lots of that stuff's on that list, which might help you. But it might be a lot of heavy stuff. You might want to avoid. But yeah, there's lots of resources out there. John says, not a lot, only about 40 games. LOL. Just think about what you said. I don't know. I assume solo gamers who've been playing in the industry for like a decade, which solo gaming has been like a thing for a decade. There have been lots of great solo games coming out for about 10 years. And a lot of players who've been playing since Mage Knight first released and got the solo gaming community really going. And yeah, there's tons of games. And I see these games on top lists and I've never even touched them. So it's hard. Like, see, Nemo's War is one that gets mentioned. Onirim, like these like smaller games. Friday. These games, I played Friday once, but I don't really remember much about it. But yeah, these kind of games, there's basically like a set of games that you must play as a solo player that I've never touched. So it's hard when I recommend a solo game because maybe one of those games I've never played might be a better recommendation. But give it like another year and I'll probably have played like a lot of the top solo games and be able to recommend some good ones. But there is... I know what you can look at. Jonathan. I know what you can look at. Here's what I caught. How I chose what board games I bought last year with help from our audience. Let me bring it up here. Before I go, this is my last nugget of helpful information that I think is great. One sec. Okay. So for those solo gamers, if you look up like solo top 200, it used to be the solo top 100, but this is related to the Board Game Geek one player guild, which I found out about last year at this time, thanks to people like John B in the chat. I was looking for the best solo games. I didn't care how complex they are. I didn't care what theme they are, but I needed to find the best of the best because I wanted to try to play some good solo games, not just play the games I own in solo mode. I wanted to acquire some of the best, no matter how complicated they are, no matter if I liked the theme or I didn't. I wanted to play some of the top solo games, and these are picked from the one player guild. These are the hardcore of hardcore solo gamers that they found a guild on Board Game Geek, and they talk in there, they chat about stuff, they recommend stuff, they do polls like this. But every year, Kevin Erskine, I think is how you say it. You'll see him in our stream sometimes. He watches the channel too. Super great guy. He does the work to put this together every year, but he polls the whole one player guild. They all vote and they rank them all. But this is a great resource. Yes, they may not all be for you, and this is some hardcore players, but there are some casual level games in here and some not too complex games that are great replayability, that'll get to your table, you'll get your money's worth. Look up 2020 People's Choice Top 20 Solo Games, okay? So this just came out like within a month, like a month ago maybe, but it comes out in October-ish, right before you need to go shop for board games and Black Friday and deals and all that stuff. So this, every year I'm going to look for this. So I hope Kevin keeps doing this every year, but there's Kevin there in the bottom left. They do the work to put this together. They do a YouTube video now, I guess. But you can scroll down here and it's just done on Board Game Geek. It's a little archaic. It's a little boring to look at, but the cool part is it's on Board Game Geek. Yeah, Kevin Erskine. Erskine? I don't know if I'm saying that right. So you'll start scrolling here. There is like, 8 pages worth of these, but you can scroll through here. So the number one game, and these stars here, that's how many times it was on. I don't know how many voters he had this year, but it's around 500 to 600 voters. Let's see. Does it show how many people voted?
11,000?
618 people.
Oh.
So this is 618 people voting who are the hardcore of hardcore solo gamers who are part of the one player guild on Board Game Geek. This is also a way to help you find the one player guild that John was recommending. 618 people voted this many times. They put a whole bunch of games in. Based on how many times Spirit Island was on the top of somebody's list as their favorite solo game. Like, It's a lot of stars, okay? But then it ranks it down here so you can know, like, this is how it ranked each year.
Oh, so it's 2.
So it got a score based on how he works out the score, but it had 291 votes, and 53 people voted it as their number one game, okay? So this is technically the number one solo game of all time. It's a heavy game, but it is a freaking blast. It's a beautiful game. I love it. Played through it on the channel. You'll see my impressions from when I first tried it to played it a bunch. It's a game. It keeps on giving. It can be played solo and multiplayer. Love it. But start scrolling through this. You can see people's comments on it. You can see, the next games. But the cool part is, because it's on Board Game Geek, you can see the overall rank of all board games. So for example, Spirit Island is ranked out of like 100,000 board games in the database here, whatever it is now, 90,000, whatever it is. Out of all board games ever released in the database, Spirit Island is the number 13th ranked game based on users of Board Game Geek who rate their games, give them a ranking. So go rate your games on Board Game Geek. You'll influence how this works and help people find great games. This is ranked 13 of all board games that ever exist. That's huge. It's crazy. But it is the number one solo game. It may not be your favorite game. It may not be for you. But do some research. All I'm showing you is a place to find games. Then you can click on this. You can click on Spirit Island. Now you're on the Board Game Geek page, where you can see ratings. You can read people, real human reviews, not the publisher telling you how great it is, not YouTube reviewers that were paid to review it. You can find actual thoughts and suggestions from regular Joes on here putting information. You can go in the forum section. You can read people's impressions, reviews. Look, there's a reviews section here. You can see people who took the time to put in reviews and tell you the crap and tell you the good about a game, and they'll tell you the bad, which is nice. You can go see how big the rules for him is, and that might scare you away from the game. That tells you the rule book's maybe not as great as it could be. If it's got a ton of posts in the rules for him, you can read people's sessions. People will write about their playthroughs of how they played the game. Like, you can find variants here. If a game doesn't have solo, you might be able to find a solo mode that somebody's made in here that you can print files for and all that stuff. For those that don't know about Board Game Geek, it's a huge resource. Go on it, get involved, help build the data. But it's just a huge database and it's where people go. It's where companies go to research stuff for their games, to promote their games, to talk about their games, to get community feedback, to answer rules questions. But you can find that all here in the forums. You can find videos. So you can find people playing the game. You can find people unboxing the game. You can find whatever on here. You'll find some of my videos in there sometimes. You can see images if you just want to see what the game looks like on the table. Or you want to see somebody's crazy birthday cake.
Oh, look at that.
A Spirit Island birthday cake they made. Whatever you want to look at. You can. The collection is here. You need a rules reference for the game you have. Let's say the company doesn't include a rules reference in the game. Go to Board Game Geek. Go to the forum section. Go to files. Whatever. You will find somebody who's made a rules reference for your game. All this spanned off of that cool top 200 list. You can dive deep in the weeds. So there's no excuse to blindly buy a game based on a box cover or based on someone telling you it's good. You can go on here and do your own research and find out multiple people's recommendations. You can find out if it has the mechanics you like. So you could go down here and go, okay, what category is it in? Oh, it's a fantasy game. I like fantasy. Oh, it's got fighting. I like fighting. Oh, I like territory building. Oh, it's a cooperative game. I love cooperative games. Let me click on cooperative games. Okay, cooperative games. Top games in cooperative. Gloomhaven, Jaws Lion, Pandemic, Arkham Horror, Spirit Island. Oh, what's Arkham Horror? I don't know what that is. Let me click on that. Oh, it's the 20th ranked game overall. It's customizable. It's thematic. Thematic games. I like thematic games. Let me click on that. Boom. Now I'm looking at the top ranked thematic games ever in the whole database. Oh, Gloomhaven. Everyone told me Gloomhaven's awesome. Let me click Gloomhaven.
This is a rabbit hole that you can get lost in, that's for sure.
But this is what I'm telling you.
But yeah.
If you want to research and want to spend your dollars very carefully, Jonathan, or whoever, and you want to find out the game that's right for you, the information is there.
Look at that 111.
If you can only buy one game, spend some time on this website. It's the board game rabbit hole. We've all been there. Yeah.
Look at how this is overall, thematic, and strategy all one.
So this is what I was recommending. So Jonathan wants to find a solo-friendly strategy game. So if you just do strategy, you can look through here. I don't see you can't add columns here. But what you can do, I think you have to be logged in. But there is a way you can export all the fields of the database. So,
or you click on, and as you click through them, you can see.
But as you can see here, good information. You can find out who's it best with. So 57% people think it's best with 3 players, but also it's recommended 56% recommended at 1 player. So you can see how many people voted. Okay, you can go into depth. You can find out how good is it solo. So even though it says best 3 players, it still is heavily recommended as a solo game. And that's why you'll see it on that solo game list, I'm sure. But if you like strategy games, like I said, you click strategy, boom. Now you can be like, oh, what's this? Oh, it's Pandemic. It's about mutating diseases. Interesting. Brass Birmingham, building industries, rail networks. Boring. I don't want to play that. Twilight Imperium. Whoa, build an intergalactical empire through trade research. Oh, this looks great. Let me look it up. And then you go, oh, wait, the weight of it. So this is the complexity. This means you'll be reading the rules for 4 months and 22 days before you get it to the table. I'm just kidding. That's not what it means, but that's kind of what it means. So complexity rating, you want to know what that is? Here's what people voted on, and then you can hover over this question mark, and this is how difficult the game is to understand. Lower rating equals lighter weight, whatever. So find a game you love, look up the rating, and if it's a 1.2 rated game for the weight or a 4-point rated game, you know what the level is of rulebook complexity that you will kind of get it to the table more often, or you can teach your player group. But yeah, for those that don't know, I'm going to make a video of how I use Board Game Geek. I need to do this to help players out, and I can just, when someone asks in the chat, Rob, how do I find the best 4-player game that's fantasy? I can go watch my video, and I'll show you how I use Board Game Geek. And I may not be using the best way, but it's how I find my answers. But this little segment here definitely can help get you started. But if we go back to that solo list, you spend some time on here, on that solo list. If I can get all the way back to it. Actually, I can hold this and go. So yeah, Spirit Island, #1 board game, but may not be the best for you. It's just the highest rated on here. But there are a lot of gems on this list. Mage Knight, super heavy, may not be for you. Terraforming Mars may be for you. But again, you can click and look up more about it. Like there's its average rating. This one's ranked 4 overall.
Wow.
Yeah, that's surprising. Anyways, Marvel Champions, a game that came out in 2019, but for some reason is already in the top 100 games of all time. Well, that must be something to check out if you like the Marvel theme. Aeon's End, a game we play on the channel. I play it solo. We play it multiplayer. It's awesome at both counts of players, big multiplayer and solo player. Aeon's End's in here. It's not #1, but for somebody it may be their #1.
Yep.
So some people think this game is better than Mage Knight, better than Spirit Island, and it may be your favorite solo game. So what I'm saying is, don't necessarily buy the top game or the top 5 games. Your favorite solo game that may be your favorite 2, 3, 5 years from now, may be a game that's ranked 150 on this list. So look through these games, and there's a lot of gems on here. When I was scrolling through this last year when I first found this, I was like, oh my god, this list is right on. Like spot on. I'm seeing all these amazing games that everyone's talking about, reviewing well. They're the same ones that the solo gamers are voting for, the ones that have good solo modes. Are also, a lot of them are amazing board games at all player counts, which is really cool. So you will not go wrong buying Scythe and adding it to your collection unless something in that game doesn't rub you the right way. Do your research. But they're all here. Like, look at these games. Lord of the Rings, amazing game. Love this game. But again, it's an LCG. Maybe you're not into finding adventure packs and expansions over the next few years, spending thousands of dollars trying to track everything down.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not the best game for you.
Oh, wow.
Too Many Bones has moved its way up there in the top 10.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like it's been consistent at top 10, which is...
Yep. This, I don't think was in the... Oh, it was in 10. Oh, man.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Very consistent.
You know why? Because I already had it at this point, so I
Yeah.
just kind of scrolled past it. But
even if you look at the top 50 of this list and make some notes on ones that you want to look into.
So this one I need to get. I have the old printing of Robinson Crusoe I got used. I don't even know. I haven't taken the time to even take it out and learn it. I might just try to grab the newer edition so that I'm playing the game that people can actually buy exactly. I know it's very similar. But again, look at it's falling. Oh my god, it's falling. It fell from 8 to 11. Oh my god, it's horrible. Maybe I shouldn't buy it anymore. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so this is a game I want to play for sure. Here's John B's recommendation, and others have recommended this. I just always remember John is the first one to bring it up to me. Was Gaia Project. Yeah, so just me getting it for a solo game. And it was only 28th the first year, but obviously word of mouth.
Yep, it's picking up.
Word of mouth got out, and yeah, it's jumped up there into the top 15 solo games of all time. But yeah, I like looking at this list because it's not just a jackass like me, a single person's opinion, putting out a video of a top 10 list.
Right.
This is a 618 people's opinions, and yes, they may be a little hardcore because they're actually taking the time on Board Game Geek. They're in a one-player guild. They're hardcore players, right?
But isn't that who you want to ask?
Maybe, but maybe there might not be. Maybe they've moved past the most casual kind of games.
But if you look at this list, there is casual games on here.
That's what I'm saying.
So
if you scroll down further, so what I'm saying is the top games are all pretty complex.
Right.
So this is maybe not the best list for everybody. Keep in mind this is a hardcore gamer list. Someone who's played 100 worker placement games and needs something more challenging. That's a game might get rated higher than maybe the best solo worker placement for someone new to the hobby.
Right, and that's why I don't think you look at the first 5 and say, oh, I'm going to buy one of these. You maybe scroll through and see some that jump out at you and then do research based on that.
Yep, but if you're willing to put the time into all these rule books, learn the systems, play the games, figure them out, and you're okay spending hours struggling, looking up rules in forums, trying to figure it out, looking at FAQs, finding errata, all that stuff, a lot of these games, you can get through it, you'll figure it out. Like, you just got to spend the time. But if you're one who just wants to spend 20 minutes in a rule book, get to the game at the table fast and play it, a lot of these games are you need to spend hours reading the rule book, looking up stuff online before you might even be able to play it through it. So just be careful. Chris has an epic rant on Robinson Crusoe on BGG. Is it ripping on the randomness in the game? That's the reason why I didn't buy it originally when I first looked into the game. Looked like you just failed too much by randomness. But I'll still try it. Nemo's War. Yeah, so anyways, there's 7 Continent. I'll be playing that solo on the channel this week. That's the plan. So it's definitely one of my favorite solo games. I'll get that back to the channel. Yes. Nice, Chris. Nice. So yeah, I just want to point that out. Hopefully that'll help you, Jonathan. Go dive deep in the rabbit hole of Board Game Geek. You'll find some great games. Also, watch this. This should help. Let's search on Board Game Geek for a game you mentioned, Risk. Oh my God. Risk came out in
1959?
Yeah, so this is your problem. Risk, this is why I won't recommend Risk anyone to ever. Sorry, fat fingers over here. So Risk originally was designed in 1959. Wow. And you can still buy that exact same version of the game, just looks prettier, newer printed paper and stuff, but it's still the same rules, which were cool in 1959, but man, we've learned a lot in game design. So yeah, there are better versions you can play now that have changed the Risk, how it works, and maybe is better for you. But for example, let's click on Risk. Okay. Overall it's 19,000. So like the modern board game community doesn't think it's that great. It probably gets hated on a lot, but you can scroll down here and you can find people who also like, so this might be a bad thing actually.
Well, it's a bad example, but
Yeah, it's a bad example.
but
So,
it actually shows.
but these are what other people who like this game and rate it high on BGG, you'll find similar games. So maybe this is a bad example, but let's see if we click Stratego, which maybe is a little more liked than Risk, and we scroll down
Past it.
to what other fans like. Yeah, it's still all just the crap.
Yeah, it's still a bad example because
like, yeah.
because it's the genre of when.
Yeah,
all these
so maybe that's a
games-
bad example.
Yeah.
But let's say we recommended Pandemic, right?
Yeah. That's a good example.
Pandemic. And you're like, I like Pandemic, but maybe the theme didn't grab me. You can go here to Pandemic and you can see what other people like. Maybe you might like Codenames better. Maybe you might like Ticket to Ride. Maybe Seven Wonders will be the game for you. That stuff's all here.
Yeah. Seven Wonders might not be a good example for you because isn't that 3 players? You need a duel, right, for 2 players, don't you?
Yeah, but I'm just the two
But
player.
yeah.
Yeah, duel for two. I'm just saying
But yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
Love it. Rob said it's all crap. Yeah. It is. It's games I saw on my shelf, my parents' board game shelf when I was like a kid in the 80s.
Yeah.
Those were the hotness. Trivial Pursuit.
Those are the games we played.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trivial Pursuit. But yeah. So anyways, what's King of Tokyo? Okay, I can look at King of Tokyo. And then you can do the same thing. Be like, I loved King of Tokyo when I played it with a friend at board game night. And you can go, all right, what else do people who like King of Tokyo like? They seem to like King of Tokyo New York, or King of New York, sorry. Bang the Dice Game, Sheriff of Nottingham, Pandemic, Photosynthesis. Oh, I like trees. I love board games with trees. Let me click on this one. Let me look at some pictures. Let me watch some reviews. Let me look at some videos. What mechanics does it have? What rating does it have? Yeah, so that's how it works. Play some time, or spend some time on this. That'll help you. And this hopefully helps others too.
I definitely use this for images when I'm painting minis as well. Because
Yep.
people put some great painted minis pictures up.
Yeah, photosynthesis is not horrible. It was reviewed pretty well when it was at Gen Con that year it came out. I was interested in getting it, but then I was like, I feel like it would only hit the table once or twice, then all of our players would kind of be bored of it and we never played again. So I feel like it doesn't have the replayability there, but it is a cool concept.
And it looks pretty.
Yes. But there now, that has spun other games that come with cardboard 3D trees. It seems to be a thing in games because it's eye-catching on a table at a convention and sells copies.
Exactly.
So watch out. That's something companies are using now as a thing. Boom. Jonathan says, also gamer tag for COD. I will play with
share
you.
that?
I only play solo really on, and I don't even play with our local friends anymore. I used to play with a bunch of guys at work. We used to leave work at night and we'd meet up and we'd all play Call of Duty, like Modern Warfare 2 and stuff. But then I stepped out of it for a while. But Warzone's like free to play, and I played on like PlayStation and PC, and it's easy to just get into. But I'm not a pro, and I don't know if I'd work well playing with others because I don't know the game too well. But I still get my Call of Duty fix out of it.
You just play for fun, right?
But
Shoot
yeah,
some
I don't
people
know what
up.
my gamer tag is though, to be honest. Oh, John's the same way.
Oh, okay.
So we'd just be dying very fast and be in the gulag quick and maybe make it out of the gulag and maybe kill a couple guys. Woo! I like playing the side ones like the plunder and stuff in that. Okay, I'm horrible too, Jonathan, so
I don't
that's
think
good.
you're horrible.
I'm getting better,
Yeah.
but I've been out of Call of Duty for a long time. I used to be very good at Call of Duty like 10 years ago. I used to play online all the time. The only way I play. I never play solo Call of Duty. I buy those games just as a quick escape. I get home from work. I just need to de-stress. I go into repeated lobby over lobby. Like just keep playing the modes over and over again. But man, I used to be at the point where I was like top in my lobby and on my team. We'd win, and I'd be the top player. Like 9 out of 10 games. I was so good at it. I was just like, I just vibed with it. But now I am older. I'm now a board gamer primarily, and I try to play it, and it's like, yeah, there's some quick youngins in there that snipe me, like just walking across from building to building. And I'm like, and I'm dead.
Well, now there's the whole thing on Twitch where people just sit there and play it all day. So they have so
That's
so
true.
much experience. But Jonathan says Plunder is also his favorite mode.
Oh yes,
He
okay.
loves that one.
Maybe we can play Plunder together.
You just have to figure out your gamer thing, right?
Yeah, but I don't know like how. Yeah, I play mainly off of PC, so like I don't know if I need to give you like my BattleNet username or. Yeah, I don't know. I just log in and start it up. I've never really joined in with anybody. I just play like with randoms will join my thing automatically, but I don't share any tags or anything.
Yeah. And he doesn't play with a headset or anything. So
I can play with headset. I have headsets, but I haven't done that. I used to be super hardcore and play with headsets, work with my team, and like be calling out guys and stuff. But
headset wouldn't be as fun for me to watch.
That's true.
Just be silent while shooting.
No, you'd be hearing me going, "No, your mama's fat." No, your mama's fat. Listen here, little kid. I'll tell you, like.
Yeah, very true.
Don't you talk about my wife that way.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it just gets silly on there sometimes, but yeah, that's why I don't use the headset really anymore.
Oh wait, is this Jonathan's tag? Is that what that means?
DP Alice 6. Okay.
You want me to know
Yeah,
that?
note that down. I'll try to add you, Jonathan. It might be funny. Yeah. If I decide to play some Plunder, I'm looking for someone to play with that we can, frustrate each other with our horrible plays. Yeah, it'd be fun.
Okay.
So it has a number after it. Oh, maybe I have seen that tag actually. Yeah. I'll just try to add you, and then we'll see. We can play together.
Okay. I noted it.
Do you have a headset? Like, are we supposed to play with headsets, or are you just saying randomly just join together and just run around and do whatever? But yeah, we can.
See what happens.
Let me know.
There we go. Funny.
All right. Let me just look at one more time for questions. But yeah. Don't think so.
So Cabra has your gamer tag in there.
Sacabra's hacked my computer.
Oh my God.
Sacabra's hacked my computer. He found out my gamer tag. I'm not going to read it out loud, but you can see it in the chat.
Oh, that's funny. There's some funny tags on there, though. That's for dang sure. When I see it. Oh my God.
Thought that was a DM.
Oh, Sacabra's starting trouble.
George knows my second account. Oh my god. You guys are funny.
Oh my god.
Anyways, okay, it seems like it's gotten off the rails and no, I'm just joking. But yeah. So I think that's it for questions. Sorry if I missed your question. If you have any other questions you want to ask, drop them. If you're watching this later, throw them in the comments of this video. We'll look at it before the next one, which will happen. We'll try to do it before Christmas.
Yeah, we'll do it before the holidays.
Yeah, we'll do it around Christmas, like probably the week leading up to Christmas or something. Do the next Q&A. So in like roughly 3 to 4-ish weeks or 3 weeks.
3, I think. It's coming fast.
No, it's about 4-ish weeks.
I guess, yeah, depending on...
Yeah, about 4 weeks from now.
Oh, yeah, about 4 weeks. That's
so
good.
we'll do the next Q&A in about 4 weeks. If you're watching this in the future, you had a question, you missed out on the stream, or you showed up late and you have your question, drop it in the comments of this video, and we'll try to answer it next time. Or join a future live stream, ask the question. If it's not too hard to answer and stop what we're doing, I'll try to answer it. Maybe someone else in the chat can answer you too. But yeah, just join us live, and it's kind of casual, and we'll do whatever. But anyways, that's going to be it for today. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you all for your questions. You are all awesome.
Awesome
we appreciate it. It's always fun. I always say I'm going to try to keep it to 2 hours, but then you guys just keep throwing the questions, and it's fun. And we have some good times, some good laughs, and I get to rant. And
we just hang out and,
yeah.
Even off topic is awesome.
So Mel's back with her painting stream tomorrow. Her
Yes.
monthly painting stream. Painting some Call of Cthulhu. Join in tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern, around there.
Yes.
And then I'm going to be playing some Seventh Continent solo this week. We're going to be back playing Lord of the Rings with Kyle on Thursday. And Pandemic Legacy Season 0 Tuesday night and probably Saturday. We'll be continuing with that series. So if you want to watch us play Pandemic Legacy Season 0, get involved. We're playing through that live right now. And yes, I've been asked in private messages and on the chat, I will be playing more Too Many Bones. We just did like freaking 100 hours of it in a month-ish, it feels like. So I'm just going to take a little break from Too Many Bones for a bit, but it will come back to the channel. And yeah, we'll play some other stuff too. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.